Dane.
Oh, hi.
Hi, everybody. How are you today?
Oh, just speaking of thing, because I did just start rewatching the series, and I don't know if the UK slash Irish here would have seen it, but Reno 911 was
Oh God.
Don't think that's the thing here.
no. Oh, it's an old. Well, actually, at this point, it's an old Comedy Central TV show that's satirizing
we get it.
cops.
We get it. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got
Yeah,
Comedy
we get
Central
it.
here.
Well, I mean, it's really old though. It's like at this point, it's like 10 years old.
Yeah, they've had reruns of it.
Okay, because they actually don't show reruns here that much on Comedy Central. Last time I checked.
Oh,
So here's
That's all we get on the
yeah, we only get reruns.
here's an interesting little thing for you guys. Ubisoft is making a Watch Dogs 3, and it's based in London, and it's based around Brexit. That's going to be incredibly spicy.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's not
May
gonna go
jump
down
the
well.
gun on that one a little bit.
That's going to be a little spicy. Just a
Dude,
little
the-
spicy.
the thing is, by the
And I
time
feel
that comes
bad.
out, we won't be out by the time that's out.
Yeah,
by the time it comes out, the country will just still be on fire.
yeah. You guys will just be like, Major will be sitting in his
That's
room,
not true.
and there'll just be fire behind him.
Well,
and
didn't
he's
it?
just
Didn't
like,
a big shit? Didn't like a big like flare up happen recently because like Trump decided to say something while he was over there and just like, oh yeah, the NHS is totally on the table for a trade deal if with
Yeah,
the US after
he wants to
Brexit.
steal our healthcare.
Well, no, he wants to make it so that U.S. companies are now inside of it, so that
Yeah.
they get like special treatment and things like that, and that's the whole thing. But no,
Not
so
happening.
Also, like
What-
when I was sitting in bus
If
stations,
someone's gonna screw it up,
between-
it's gonna be us.
What do you mean gonna screw it up?
when I was sitting in bus stations in the US, 95% of the adverts on TV at 2 in the morning are like, men's health, if you know what I'm saying, pills and
no,
other stuff
yeah.
like that.
yeah.
And it's all like, it's like, oh yeah, this thing is great and it helps build muscle and all that. And then there's just like 6 seconds of all.
What a great time to cut out.
Anyway, Rival, have you seen that advert that I just posted in the group chat? Do you remember that
I
one?
can't watch it. I think I have from like years ago.
Yeah, the one where the guy gets attacked by the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my lecturer. That was one of my lecturers. Just to point out. So that
Did you start calling him Wall Ball eventually? Because if you didn't,
We have no idea what you're talking about now, Mike.
No, we called him Gay Goering because he played Gay Goering in one of the Harry and Paul sketches, the Gay Hitler sketches. He played Gay Goering in it.
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that'd be a good nickname.
Yeah, so he was Gay Goering.
Yeah. So, I guess since
Anyways.
yeah,
After all,
Moving
that's
on.
nice.
since Utari's not here this week, we'll just have to go forward without him.
Mosey on down without him.
Mosey on that.
Sorry, I've been watching Critical Role season 2, and now I'm stuck with Ford stuck in my head.
Forward.
Yeah.
Forward.
Fjord.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. I just got this. I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast on him,
Yep.
and I'm gonna get this sort of ice crystal armor on me, and it's yeah.
So, who wants to do the recap for the last game?
All I remember is we're about to be fucked.
I mean,
Excuse
maybe
my
you're into
French.
that. All I'm gonna say is, right, maybe you're into half orcs who are like 7 feet 3 tall and built like a small house. All I'm gonna say.
All I'm
Or
gonna say is
Half elves.
the elf runs onto the scene and goes, "Challenge accepted."
Well, we've got this. We got to hope. We got to hope that we're in public. They might not make a scene.
No,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
hoping that Isaac can talk us out.
So, for the recap, I guess I'll do it.
No, we'll let the bard do the talking. Thank you very much. He's the charisma focus. Well, actually, I've got charisma as well.
I'll go
but-
ahead and I'll go ahead and do the recap. So last time you all finished up your mission at the Willowbrook Estate / Farmstead to the south of Gorgon, and returned to the. There we go. Returned to the city, where you finished off a couple of things you had
Errands.
set up, and like errands, selling off some of the goods that you had gotten.
No, we didn't.
Well, no, you generally you did sell goods. Some of
No, I know
you
what you're
sold
talking about.
under the table as well.
Thank you.
That- bypassing the party tax.
I like that phrase, the party tax.
Yeah, party tax. But you were informed during these errands after you'd finished running these errands that some individuals had been asking around about you lot in the time that you've been gone from the city, and specifically a small half-elven woman and a large half-orc man had been seen coming around and specifically asking about a group of adventurers that consisted of a Uteshian rider, a large,
Priest.
tall priest of Palor, a elf.
You racist bastard.
a large Uteshian rider, a Palorian priest, an elf.
Just an elf.
and a halfling bard.
See, they get it's like something they're good at. I just get elf.
I mean, you are literally a walking stereotype. You're an elf with a bow who hits things without even looking at them.
It is true.
Like,
you
come
are,
on.
You are essentially just Legolas, but
Fuck it, he's
What
even
your
got the
own eyes
swords.
see.
yeah.
I have a sword.
But that is directly quoting what you were told that they had described.
It's a bit more morally dubious than it, Legolas, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
you
I have
decided to
morals.
all decide to move forward and try and head off these individuals, try and track them down before they tracked you down. In doing so, you went ahead and checked out the registry of ships at the public registry of ships at dock in Gorgon, and through trial and error, and just kind of process of elimination, you found a ship that seemed to be the culprit, and also essentially confirmed when you walked up and asked them straight out if they were those individuals. And you were told by a man who was
Some sort of cleric in chains, wasn't he?
yeah, you were told by a human that was wearing.
We
kind of
we weren't
armor.
told of the symbol because apparently the people that were able to guess what symbol that wasn't there.
Actually, that's the thing. I was wrong about that.
Oh, okay.
Because the ones that were there, R1 was there.
Oh, of course.
He was there, so he actually needs to make a religion check for that to see if he did understand what that symbol was representing.
17.
17. Well, you do understand.
Oh.
You do recognize it.
That's why we get
it
you to do
is-
the religion checks and not Isaac.
What initially seemed to just be a random symbol that didn't have much meaning to it, whenever you see it, R1, you recognize it immediately. It's a bit crude in its design, but it is reminiscent of the symbol of Ilmater, which is it's two hands balled into fists, but they are chained together, and the hands are like red. So it's kind of like symbolizing just kind of an individual that is imprisoned. Ilmater is a very what would be a good word for Ilmater? He's a very interesting god when it comes to his symbology. I think I actually did start writing Pantheon notes down, so I can actually tell you. Ilmater is known as the Crying God or the Broken Lord. So he's based around a lot of redemption and he's lawful good, that kind of stuff. But you know that symbol directly, so it seems to be either somebody who's in service of Ilmater or something like that. But that's something you would have gotten at the time. But yeah, after being informed of the fact that the individuals that you were looking for were in fact the first mate and the captain of the ship, which you found out to be the Strumpet's Cry, you were met up with by I believe it was Isaac and who else?
Rivellon.
Right.
Because we went to talk about Rivals' infliction with the knowledgeable scholar.
That is another
And
thing.
then
You also
we
got an
ran
info
to
dump.
catch up with them.
You also got an info dump on the background history of Zagul. So you found out what her story was, or at least what her mythology was. And
we found out that Rival isn't possessed! However, the
But it's
druid
very
that
likely
was...
someone else's.
But it's very likely that the druid we captured and subsequently got away is...
Not
Huzzah!
possessed. More like she's,
Empowered.
Yeah.
or
a
empowered
Patreon.
by her.
Yeah.
I know, well, it's more of a possession because once she completes her task, she dies. According to the mythos. So,
Yeah,
So-
unfortunately, her thing is probably to kill us.
yep.
Yeah.
Hello, Dolly,
someone-
Ori.
or someone in specific. We don't really know. So.
But yes, Isaac and Rivellon, you decided to came back and raced to find the rest of your party, believing that there's the possibility that these individuals had been hired by your previous prisoner, or at least fearing their safety. But in doing so, you did find them, and also are now confronted face to face with the small half-elven woman and the quite large half-orcish man who are standing in front of you, and you were just you saw her right before we left. You saw her smile and say aloud, because she's not too far away from your group, as you turned around and turned to the side and saw her. Just goes, "Well, you are difficult people to find."
Can I make an insight check?
Can I make a charisma check?
What are you trying to insight?
her intent in saying that, and the intent in the smile that she has on her face. Like, is it a friendly smile? Is it a grateful smile? Is it, a sinister smile? Is she?
Has she gone for her scabbard? Like that sort of thing.
Yeah. Is she reaching for her weapon?
Sure. Give me an insight check. Sure.
Yeah.
Go
Thank you. Let me pull it up here. Insight. Top one. There we go. Okay, that's not great, but it's 12.
Just a bit hard to read.
All right.
Go.
I don't
do
know
it.
this woman.
You have,
I-
you
I-
have any previous experience with her, so you have
Yeah.
no basis.
I don't know this
Gorgon.
woman, so.
Gorgon's a big place. We only just heard that there was somebody looking for us.
Well, I'm glad you were able to find us, at least. And she, by the way, her demeanor doesn't, like, her hands are not on her swords.
Okay.
But she has two of them, equal sized, all
Mhm.
the same, like, kind of dual scabbard on the same. But yeah, I'm glad you're able to find us at least. Would you care to join us aboard? We have a proposition for you and your prestigious group.
I like it out here. It's sunny.
Fresh, the fresh,
Fresh,
salty sea
fresh
air.
sea
It's good,
air
you
of
know.
rotting fish on the shoreline. Yeah, this is much
Bless
better for
you.
me. Thank you very much.
What is the
Bless you,
nature of your proposition?
I have a job.
Yeah, you
offer.
said that.
And unfortunately, the particulars of the job are somewhat confidential. Needless to say, it is a somewhat dangerous mission that would pay well, and I require protection. And you come highly regarded by quite a few individuals.
I look at the massive half orc next to her,
Sorry,
almost inquisitively.
you seem to know us, but we know nothing of you. What is your name?
Yeah. And by the way, just because you did say it, half-orc guy, blind. Just
Blind.
like he's just not.
I can tell
like,
just by looking at this guy that he is blind.
Nope.
No, he's just
Blank.
as in
Blank
as
face.
in,
Oh,
Face.
blank. Oh, I thought
he's not. He doesn't give a shit. Like he's like there's no emotion there. His hand is not on his like he's got like this big black iron like war axe that's in a frog on his belt, but he's not like it's on like the palm of his hand is on the top of that, but he's not like in a grasping motion. He's just kind of resting it.
Yeah.
He's not. He's just he's standing there motionless, and he's looking at you, but not as like individuals, just like as he's getting
A group.
a situation.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
is logging the situation, and he is keeping an eye on everything. Like he might be a bodyguard, he may just be, he may not care. You're not sure, but he's like there is no like nothing there.
You
that
seem to
you
have
can-
perfectly capable protection standing next to you, miss.
Doesn't seem to acknowledge that question, but when Isaac, where are my manners? I am Captain Sedna Marisol of the Strumpet's Cry, a private vessel.
It was Captain what?
Setting a Marisol.
That's SEDNA MARISOL.
That was close. I had a
back.
A instead of an O at the end of Marisol. So
Yeah, that'd be Marisol. Probably. No way.
That's all.
Sol. But yeah.
The time.
I received word of your group from a few individuals who had traveled along the southern coast road from Fall Harbor. They told some interesting stories of your exploits, though it seems you have a new member of your party.
Huh? Who?
Points to the
Sesh?
the 7.5 foot tall
7 foot
dragonborn.
tall
Where the hell did you
dragonborn.
come from?
Ah!
How did she get here? What's going on?
I pick up Rival and I dunk him in the sea. Just with one hand, just No, I don't actually do that. I just tap him on the shoulder like he's being an asshole because he's.
Yeah, well, I'm not possessed, so woohoo!
That's a good thing to know. But yes, what about your
Giant friend.
bodyguard? And she says bodyguard with a question mark at the end.
My crew I trust with my life on the sea, but where we're going I feel safer with some tested individual.
So you're not going on the sea then?
I think last time I was on a boat, it was ridiculous.
Oh, you never
everywhere.
did tell me about that.
You really don't want to know.
I really don't feel too comfortable discussing the specifics of the job unless we are in a more looks around to the somewhat crowded dock, more private location.
Very well.
Group meeting.
I looked at the
Let's. Group meeting. Group meeting. Can you give us?
Huddle.
just time out real quick. Just hold up.
Okay. What are we thinking, guys?
What am I thinking?
well,
I'm
first
thinking
off-
I don't trust a word that comes out of this woman's mouth.
Did you tell us about, or do we know that Rivlon's not possessed and the lady that escaped might be? Is that something that was told to us before we ended?
Well, Rivlon just mentioned he's not
No.
possessed, but we don't know about Liban yet.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if we'd been told that.
Okay. Quick update on the rival situation. Rival is not possessed. Liban might be.
Damn.
Good news is, though, if Liban succeeds in whatever task she has to do for thingy, she'll die. The problem is that task might be killing us. Anyway,
Well, that's some excellent information.
Well, in light of that,
more precisely, killing Ustinia.
Oh,
in light of that,
Why kill me? I didn't do anything. Just go tap tap.
when did Yustinia get a list?
What accent was that?
He does not know. It is not. It's not
That was
often
hard.
we have the voice.
That was a mix between Ustenia and Rocky.
Adrian.
Just alone, and you got a Mongolian step archer for some reason there.
well, in light of that, I say we take the job and see where that leads us, because that might kind of divert us away from this other problem.
Getting out of the area might be a good chance.
And I recognize that symbol, that over there. It's the symbol of Ilmater. All I know is it's a lawful good god of some sort. So, it's a relatively good god. It's, from what I remember of the classes, I slept through half of it because gods are all boring and all that.
Yeah, with the 17, you just kind of know the general practice of it. He's not too popular in the First Kingdoms, but you recognize him and you know his general title as in the Broken Lord and the Crying
Right.
God. So
Okay.
of what you get from those titles, that's what you know.
All I remember is he cries a lot or something. I don't know really. He's a good god. He cries. Might have broke
Should
something.
Isaac make a roll?
sometime.
Because he's from the First Kingdoms, just to see if he
You
knows
can if
anything
you'd
more
like
in depth.
to. Though
Yeah,
he would have
let-
a higher DC now that he does know that, since he spent a lot of his time learning about Paylor. that would be a religion check.
Oh, no.
No,
That's a nope.
you know of him, but that's it.
Why do I always roll religion really badly?
He is one of the inner pantheon. So he is of the same level as Paylor and a few of the others.
Okay.
You're too religious is why. You have to take a step back from religion to be good at it.
Are you calling me narrow-minded?
Yes.
This is where he pulls out like the sword, like heresy. How dare you.
And Sacred Flame. No.
The whole dock burns down.
Oh, and I need you to make a deck saving throw. No, thank you. I say we go inside and hear what she has for us.
I agree with that. Sorry.
Besides, how could we turn down a pretty face like that?
Oh
Not
God,
very
come in along with his ex-wife.
Hey, at least he's moved on from me.
And he's gone. A broken crimson. Yay!
So the party therefore turn. I will turn to the probably very confused captain who has been stood there watching us group huddle.
She's a smirk. She has a smirk on her face. She's just.
She's probably
smiling.
heard everything we've said. Lead away, Captain. We will hear your proposition.
She kind of like. inclines her head and hand towards the ship and leads you on board. You walk up the gangplank, and the Strumpet's Cry is like it's a mid-sized ship. It's two-masted, with it looks like newish rigging, so it's well kept and maintained. You see probably about 7 crew on the deck. Again, the 2 tabaxi who are running rigging up high up, and they're being guided by the individual that you talked to before. And as you get closer, you make out a bit more detail. He's definitely human. He's very tall, so maybe about 6'2".
So not very tall for this party.
Not very tall for this
Or
party.
extremely tall.
But he's also very lean. Like there's no fat on him. He's got very hollow cheeks, and it's like he is like you can see bones.
Are we talking Paul Bettany's albino monk in Da Vinci Code?
I haven't seen Da Vinci.
I'll find an image.
Not as bad as the Machinist.
God, that was terrible.
That was
not like
terrible.
Christian Bale in The Machinist. Like think like he's not that bad, but just kind of a little bit like he definitely hasn't. If you had to guess, he probably hadn't eaten in a while. Would be like something you could say. Blonde-haired, very sharp face, and yeah.
Oh God, it's Paul Bettany. It is definitely going to be Paul Bettany in in the Da Vinci Code. Hold on, let's see if I can get a copy of this image.
Are you gonna drop it into the chat?
Yeah.
And I hate that it doesn't give me a preview like almost every other image.
God damn it, Google.
Yeah, a little bit less, like fat on the you can a bit more hollow cheeked, but yeah, something close to that. But yeah, he's also wearing full armor of some sort of metal, and he's got the symbol of Ilmater on him. He seems to be guiding that, and then there's a general smattering of other crew members on board that are loading things or putting them into the cargo hold in the center of the ship. But you are guided to the rear of the ship. There's a room that is with an open door, and when you're guided inside, the large orc or half-orc man does not come with you. He stays outside of the door as you are let in, and this seems to be maybe like the captain's not quarters, because there's no bed here, but it's got
cabin,
charts, globe, cabin,
office,
office kind of thing. There's no bed or anything here, but there's a charts and a globe there. There is a couple of artifacts. There's a mask that looks to be some sort of feline face that's painted on a tropical wood, and this general it looks like she's been around a lot. There's a lot of things that kind of indicate
Can't say that about a woman. How rude.
She's been around the world a lot. There we go.
You've clarified.
She's a woman of culture.
She's a woman of culture, yes. But when you enter, and after you all enter, the door closes from the orc closing it behind you, and he still stays on the outside. But she steps around behind a desk that is in the rear of the room. She doesn't take a seat, though. Well, I definitely feel more comfortable now. Specifically, I have a client that is interested in a certain artifact that is somewhat difficult to get to and dangerous to get to, but they are willing to pay a handsome price. I am the individual who's been tasked with retrieving it for them. And I feel more comfortable having some muscle with me when it is retrieved. Especially in light of the fact of where the job will be taken.
Which is?
She rolls out a small map, and it looks to be a map of like the southern Freehold coast. And she points to an island that's in the center of the Bay of Gold. The Jade Isles. He looks around.
Should I roll history? Should we roll like a history check, or I don't think geography is a thing in this setting. So.
Any of us are? None of us are from here.
No, so none of you know what she's talking about. So she looks around for a minute.
Is that supposed to mean something?
Right.
Well,
Jade
we might have passed it on our way. No, we wouldn't have. We never
No.
came this far by boat.
No, you didn't. The Jade Isles used to be a den of pirates some 30, 40 years ago. 25 years ago, it was the home base of Galifar the Red during his crusade against the Company. That was until the Company tracked him down and fought him outside the Jade Isles and killed him.
He was
Since then,
he was that half-elven
abandoned.
sailor, right? Pirate.
Yeah, the
Privateer.
guy who they were doing the sort
Festival of. Yeah.
of festival stuff for. Yeah.
Yes, you were all informed. There is a festival coming up in Galifar the Red. It's maybe about a week off from today. Since that time, it's remained abandoned. Some say it's cursed. On this island, there is an artifact. One of Galifar's lieutenants, a captain of one of his ships in the pirate fleet, is buried on this island. The tomb of Pelon the Pious.
Could you tell us a little bit about Pelon the Pious?
Well, he was known as Pelon the Pillager when he was still a pirate, but he found Ilmater later in his life and dedicated himself to redeeming his existence. Not that he had much of a choice. He was captured when he raided the Rapkus coast after Galifar's death, and was made a redemptor. I'm gonna need the First Kingdom kids to roll history checks on
Yo, that's a me.
Yo, that's a you two, motherfuckers.
two.
Yeah, not
I think except for Isaac and Rivel and
14.
Arwen, everyone else is from somewhere different. Like
Yes.
there's no
Yeah.
two people.
Well,
elsewhere
but
from same.
the First Kingdoms is like 3 different places, and me and Owen aren't from the same place within the First Kingdom.
Yeah, but the
It's
First
just-
Kingdom's
it's a
in.
region. It's
Yeah,
a northern.
you're from
I'm
the
not
same
really
region.
sure where I'm from.
You're from.
You're from the woods.
You're from the west coast of the continent.
I got a
Way on the
14.
West coast. Got a
West
14?
Coast,
Well,
West Coast.
Actually, you both met the DC. It wasn't that hard since you were from the First Kingdoms. Redemptors are a very old thing, and really only common in the First Kingdoms. They are individuals that, for one reason or another, have decided to take an oath of redemption, and essentially have been they have been tasked by this oath to balance their lives before they die for the wrongs they've done. So it's essentially like they might have been set for execution or a life sentence or something like that, and they decided instead of that they've taken an oath of redemption. And you've heard and probably seen a few of them. To keep them from going against their oath, they are magically entombed in chains.
Like the guy on the top deck.
Like the guy on the top deck. It actually makes a lot more sense now that you've heard the word and it's clicking for you, but usually the chains don't exist. But if they go against it, they will be manifest. And
So these are like
chains.
they're criminals that get turned into Judge Dredd.
They're criminals that get turned into basically paladins.
Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Without the gun.
I mean,
it's not. They have no direct. There's no direct good or bad. It's just they have to balance their souls. Is essentially their oath, and that's what a redemptor does with their lives.
I'm guessing, considering as an Inquisitor, I would have definitely dealt with Redemptors. In terms of
very
possibly
equivalent.
worked with them.
Possibly, the thing is they don't work with a lot of people. They're the equivalent for for the Palorian Inquisition. The Ilmater Redemptors are very equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of interplay, but they're not as organized. It's very much they are given their oath and they are set upon the world, and if they go against their oath, then they're kind of usually dealt with because they don't have a lot of ability to do anything after that point. They're kind of just stuck where they are. Usually they'll die out or something like that. God damn it, Mitch. For everybody on the podcast, Mitch just got a fucking plate as big as his head of, I don't know.
I'm
what those
also
were.
hungry, so I haven't eaten today because I only woke up like a
To
little while ago.
reiterate, Midge, the
That looks
Redemptors,
delightful, by the way.
Redemptors aren't as organized as the Palorian Inquisition. They're they're set upon the world, and they do about their oath however they see fit.
Okay, so it's more like Eli in the Book of Eli. Sorry for all the
Kinda,
weird
yeah.
film references.
No, but I get most of them though.
Yeah,
And though Judge Dredd is not necessarily a film reference, I mean there are films of Judge Dredd, but I mean more of a comic.
The newest
reference.
one is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
The newest Dread is pretty good.
Carl Urban or the new one?
The one where they're in like the single apartment complex.
Carl Urban.
the Carl
Yeah,
Urban
Carl
one.
Urban one. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's okay. It's very violent, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, yes, it's Judge Dredd.
It's Judge
People
Dredd.
die. Welcome to Judge Dredd.
Just because I'm kind of a cosplay fan and I've always thought about doing it. Apparently, and that would be one of the things I want to do. Apparently, the costume designer of that entire film decided he wanted to make the people that were going to cosplay as characters, as judges from that film, their lives as hard as possible. So they used like discontinued equipment and discontinued shit and custom-made jackets and shit to make it as hard as possible for somebody to cosplay as a judge from that movie. That's like
Dickhead.
yeah. No, I like that's great. That makes it takes effort, but yeah. That be the equivalent is like they're very much they go about their lives.
Okay, that's fair.
And do that. So
Someone
yes,
I could understand.
That's what you get there. But he was turned into a redemptor in his later years and spent the rest of his life redeeming his sins. And apparently, ironically enough, he decided to be buried in the place where his crimes mostly took place, or at least symbolically took place.
So you're saying you want us there in case he might be haunting it, or anything of that nature?
Oh no, there are many rumors about the island.
Right.
The company was said to enlist the help of a priest of Moradin to curse the land before they torched the buildings and sowed the fields with salt. Whether or not you believe that, I don't know. But it is known that the item we're going to try and retrieve will be guarded.
What is the
Somewhere.
item?
The scales of misjudgment.
Okay. Is that
Sorry,
all the
Isaac's
info you have?
eating as well.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Is that all the info you have on them?
They're a set of nondescript scales, scales made of silver. It's located in his tomb.
Of course it is.
What are they said to do?
Crimson, we can't hear you, mate.
You're still muted. What'd you say?
So, do you know where the tomb is?
I have a map to find the location of the tomb on the island,
Alright.
but we will need to get to it first. Somewhat inland of the island.
Assuming we agree to this particular task, let's talk payment.
Well, I'm assuming you are a professional adventuring group, so you have a commission rate.
Did somebody say commission rate? And then the merchant steps forward.
Talk to our negotiation partner.
Our financier.
Yeah. Our accountant.
Yeah.
You.
She'll
Due to
provide
the
you with the
duration
sword
of this mission.
code and.
Due to
Sorry,
the
Hamza.
duration of this mission and its danger, and the potential for a secondary mission after this one is completed and future work, I believe the fair compensation to be 750 gold pieces. Half front, half after.
Later.
Okay.
And when would you be
Fine.
leaving?
As soon as possible. We're loading the ship up now. We could wait maybe a day.
How long till Austin gets his armor?
He has it
Already
already,
picked up,
doesn't
I
it?
think.
Yeah.
He
He's
hasn't
picking
been-
up today.
Yeah,
He's
he hasn't
picking
been.
up today.
He hasn't been for the final fit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he'd be
also
picking
really
up
early
today.
still. So, you know.
But yeah, it's still morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so first question I need to ask: is there any sort of roll I can make to know if her offer is fair? 750 for now and 750 when we finish.
No.
No,
Seven-
750 split.
750
Total. Oh, so 375 now, 375 later. Would that be right? I
Yeah.
think my math
Mhm.
there is right.
Should be.
Yes.
I'll double
Okay.
check it. Yeah.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
And then it would be 125 if we split it evenly like we have been.
Well, by 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which isn't a bad amount of gold, to be fair. And there's also whatever we could find on the island that we might want to take as well. Actually, hang on. Captain, if we find anything on the island, what is the procedure you like to take for items that are found on the island?
You keep what you find, as long as it's not the item
That
we're
you
looking
wish
for.
to. Yes. Okay, that seems fair to me. As long as everybody else here agrees with the terms, the money is fair.
And we're
Well,
okay
you're
with
our accountant. If you think it's okay by us.
No, she's saying the money is fair. It's you guys who need to agree to the terms of the mission.
Oh.
You know, as long as you guys are cool with the mission, the money is fair.
I see no
I'm
problem in
worried
it.
about our resident thing. Inquisitor, that's the one.
What are you worried about me?
Yeah. It's robbing a tomb.
He has a point.
Sacred ground, even if it's not for a Palor worshipper, it's still sacred ground. Look, I'm being actually thoughtful about other people and their religions. Look, I'm not actually infested with the demon.
I pat Rivellon on the head.
Okay.
That's a good boy.
I will shoot you in the leg with an arrow.
Isaac takes a moment and does some soul searching. He gets a 16 on a religion check. What does he feel with that his religion would be the standpoint of? Like, now I have a firm idea of also of this pirate's religion and such, and well, knowing our luck, probably pirate. He's probably reanimated.
The Pelorian Bible is a very large and somewhat contradictory text that has stories aplenty of many different times in which Pelor has done many different things, including his followers, or has had his followers been commanded to do things. 16. You do remember passages that detail what could be considered grave robbing in their time, but it's all up to interpretation at that point. So it exists for good reasons. It can be allowed. There are some loopholes when it comes to other religions' grave sites in certain areas of specific domains. It's kind of up in the air in a lot of ways. It's a lot of context is required.
Okay. I should be fine as long as I do not encroach the tomb itself. If I am there as purely a warding purpose and a protection from evil, then Palos should not frown on it.
Okay.
Basically, don't make me dig the grave up.
I like how you just say that in your very normal voice. Like he's all prim and proper, and then he just says, "Don't make me dig up the grave, assholes."
Yeah, no, that was in character and out of character. There you are.
Yeah.
They're in a strictly defensive and protection capacity,
Advisory
not in the actual
Advisory.
digging up of the grave.
Like Russians in Vietnam, I will be there as an advisor and to shoot planes at the sky if necessary.
Right, fair enough. Okay, fine.
Every Russian listening to this chat has just went, "Bitch."
But we're not beholden to your beliefs, right? Like, just because you can't do anything doesn't mean we can't do anything, right?
Yeah, so you're happy to dig up an actual grave?
No. I'm just saying, if, there's something shiny and of value.
If it could get you into the bed of the lady elf captain here, then you'll do it. Yeah, we know.
I want to point out I'm standing right here.
Yeah, we know. Don't worry. We also know that R1 has basically a massive horn dog.
We basically are very comfortable in displaying our weird family-esque argumentative nature dynamic to the open public, and for some reason we forget ourselves.
All I'm going to say is that I'm here, but I'm not actually here. Okay.
No, that's who's telling you.
Do we have an accord?
Yes,
we do have an accord.
We do require one more day on shore, however, to collate our things, get supplies, and such. Naturally.
Well, maybe only till the evening. We might be back. Depending.
We will be here until then. If you will, she rummages around. Please sign this contract of employment.
I read the contract, all of it, fine print and all.
Yes.
Give me an intelligence check.
I don't think my intelligence is very high, but I give it a go anyway. Do you want us to just a pure intelligence? Yeah.
Yep, just pure intelligence check.
Oh,
that's not bad.
Nicely done.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Would an investigation check work? in reading the contract as well?
This is more about comprehending the language of the contract.
My intelligence sucks.
I have a 0. There's a 1.
I've got a 20.
You only rolled
He's
a 9.
rereading it.
I like how that each one of those is a reread. Like, hang on, go back to the top.
Yeah, I'm only counting the first one.
Your immortal souls. What are immortal souls again?
You read through, and both of you read through, and while there are some bits that are somewhat complexly worded, it doesn't seem like there's anything here that like signs your souls away or makes you slaves. You can be sure about that much.
I just sort of nod and give the rest of the group a, yeah, this seems to check out. There's nothing in here that causes us to, become a dentured service to any particular deity, so that's good.
What about any particular captain?
That's also not in there.
Ship?
Maybe.
Hey. I give her a sort of like playful smirk. Hey, just be nice, okay?
Is there? I'll take it. Arwen will take it and sign it with a flourish. Just bard, big, flowing, handwriting, real fancy.
And then he plays a power chord afterwards, like.
All right.
Yeah.
So you all sign it.
I'm gonna sign it in a false name.
Okay. What's the name you signed it under?
Ezok.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. Okay.
She looks at it. Bish. I signed mine in Draconic, assuming she doesn't mind that.
She doesn't seem to.
I was gonna say yeah.
And
I could
she
write.
opens up
I could.
the contract after you all sign it and puts it in a tube, like a waterproof like map case, and then puts it off to the side. I look forward to working with you.
I get a feeling we have just been completely and utterly screwed over.
Now, if you will, we still have to get the ship together and ready to go. If you have any other business, you should attend to it.
To the weapon shop!
Hang on. You promised some money first. Up front.
True.
Not yet.
She goes off to the side, and there is a metal safe off to the side that's like was in a cupboard. She opens that up, and there's a little combination, and then a key lock, and she brings out a bag, counts out the money, and you were given 375 gold pieces. Do you want that in the party sheet as a general fund, or?
Yeah, because we can split it up once we finally get everything done. That way we can split it more evenly.
Okay, so you have 166 in there right now, so that's added on top of that. So now you have 541 gold pieces in the party
Nice.
amount. So, okay, you're given your money. Now, if you have anything else you need to attend to
the weapon shop.
Do it. You should do it now. And you are led off the ship by the.
I hate you lot.
Tall, by the
You're
tall
Half orc.
half orc.
Is he taller than me?
He's pretty close.
He's
pretty close.
in the sevens.
Yeah, he's built like a brick shit house. He is just a
Just a
tall,
wall.
Everywhere.
I hope we take this guy on the island with us. My goodness.
tall and wide,
Find some more
and
short people.
and that axe is about as tall as R1. That's on his hip. Just
Damn it,
that he's
son
got
of a
hanging there.
Bitch, bastard, tall fucking
But
people.
this whole time, he has not spoken a word to you. He just leads you wordlessly down the gangplank and then
Anyone speak
you
orc?
then you're like, go.
I just say thanks to him when we get off the plank.
Nothing. Watches you as you go. And goes back up the gangplank into the ship.
Well,
That was
Ustinir needs to collect his.
His armor.
What else do we think we need for this journey? Obviously, you need a
Extra
new.
holy water, maybe some.
I've still got 10.
curses.
I've got 10
Does
vials of
anybody
holy water.
remember the armor that he was supposed to?
It was scale mail.
No.
It was a heavy armor, I think.
It was a heavy
Ring mail?
armor. I can't remember. I think
Maybe someone should just.
it was
ask
the
him
one.
just
It
to
was
see
the one below plate, I believe.
Splint?
ring-
Splint, possibly
It
splint.
wasn't the deal. He was going to give his chain shirt
Yes.
to
Yeah.
the merchants, and he was going to get something back.
That
he was
the
gonna get,
helmet
like,
with the helmet
the-
bit.
Ask him in the chat. Somebody should ask him in the
Yeah,
chat.
someone needs to ask. Someone needs to ask
if
Atari what it
if he'll
was.
actually answer, because he's do not disturb on Eve right now. He's probably because all of his monitors filled with spreadsheets.
Just
I think it was the I think it was the one right before.
Splint, maybe.
I think it might have been ring mail. Let me check.
No, it wasn't ring mail.
Wasn't
It might have been Splint Eater because I think I mentioned to him that I have Splint as well.
So, here's the thing. Do we want to... Oh, no. Rival can get his own weapon. He's got enough money. I was about to say, do we need to pull in to get him a weapon? But we don't.
No.
Yeah.
Why does Rival need to get another weapon?
Because...
Splint?
I
there's-
want to upgrade my bow.
Yeah. Hang on. Him upgrading his bow so he gets an extra +1, I'm okay with, because his +1's currently on his sword, and that doesn't do much for us, because he stays out of combat for a lot. The amount of times he...
This is a melee combat.
But the amount of times I get the like major damage because I'll get 2 hits plus Hunter's Mark with my bow from range.
Yeah.
Getting an extra +1 damage.
Yes, I know.
I'm just saying, I'm going to be kicking ass.
I would, just as a
From
party
across the
thing,
county.
I think it might be wise if we try to find something that ups my AC or my charisma. Either or. Same for R1. Charisma's kind of interchangeable for both of us.
Okay.
I believe
So,
that's
magic
what...
shop?
I think possibly that's what we should maybe look for with some of the party fund.
If I could upgrade
know how
my
far
AC,
it's-
I wouldn't mind.
The amount of times I've gone down, though, out of character content, just out of character here. The amount of times I've gone
Oh, no,
down,
I'm just-
I think we need to maybe give me an extra AC point.
I'm not arguing, I'm just, if I can afford it, I'd like to.
I mean, we could always, we all could.
Oh, anyone can do it with extra AC. It'd be really decent. But with me having the lowest health and the lowest AC, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh no, I might not be the
You
lowest.
can only-
I don't think I'm the
you
lowest
can-
AC. I've got 14. Rival, what's your AC?
Probably
I think I'm
15.
14 too.
Oh.
One
You
second.
can only wear half. You can only wear
15.
medium armor, right, Isaac?
Yeah. But I've only
What
got
do you
a
have right now? A chain shirt?
chain shirt.
Why not get you some scale? Well, actually, scale mail has a disadvantage on
Dex.
stealth.
And the same logic is it might cause issues with spellcasting.
There's no such thing as a spell failure in 5e. So it doesn't
Oh,
matter
there
what you
isn't,
wear.
is there? That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing studded leather, so.
Cheers.
I think there
finish that
is.
Not
Yeah,
in.
There
not on the
there
armor
is.
sheet.
All right, I just messaged him. He got +1 scale mail.
That's right.
Yeah, because he spent 500 gold pieces on that, and that was how much the scale mail +1 scale mail cost. It was about 500 gold pieces. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so he did. He
Which
didn't
means
want
we
to-
are wearing the same thing. Yeah, which means we are wearing the same thing. Actually, didn't
Well,
he say
you
he can wear heavy armor now?
Well, he can, but he didn't want heavy armor. He didn't want a breastplate, and he didn't want heavy armor, so he decided to get +1 scale mail for what he
Fair.
did. So
Fair.
that also let him use his dex bonus. So I'm going to switch it up on there. Talk amongst yourselves, see what you figure out what you want to buy and stuff. Work it
So
out.
yeah,
I would like a new bow.
the problem is with magic items is they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
And
to
we
pick
don't have an
what.
awful lot of money.
Yeah, we need to pick a prime like a what do we think's the most useful thing to go look for? I mean, we can get prices and then decide, but we need to like be able to narrow down.
So either a better weapon for Rivallon.
No, he's
Well,
definitely
you can get that
he's
yourself,
definitely
can't
doing
you?
that
He's got enough.
Oh yeah,
money.
he has enough money.
because he hid a load of money from the party. Yeah.
So he doesn't get anything from the
I
load. From the
did
party.
not.
He
hide a
didn't.
lot
He
of
didn't
money.
hide it. He didn't hide it. He just didn't offer us any of it. Well, he bribed me to keep my mouth
Yeah.
shut.
And
Yeah,
and Isaac discovered it and just tutted.
Yeah.
just
I think we all
Technically,
know
all
that he has money.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Anyways, so either something that increases, well, charisma for me or Isaac.
the AC thing is easier to deal with Isaac because charisma items tend to be magic items, which tend to be very expensive.
Yeah, but one charisma gets me to the next plus because I'm on 17,
Yeah.
so I'm on that borderline.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't
Oh, yeah,
necessarily be a
nothing-
very rare magic item.
Yeah, I could get a +1 wisdom and have 20 wisdom. So if anyone wants to do that either, because that could help us if there's any undead around. 'Cause I can do the whole
So yeah, that's the same.
undead. No.
Yes, well, that's the same thing with me because I get the cleric spell list, but it uses my charisma instead. So. It'd be...
Yeah, I actually have the ability to turn undead though. So
Oh, you've got
do that
turn
whole-
undead. That's really
Yeah.
that's quite useful
If-
then.
I got
Alright, so
turn
really-
undead, and I can just I can basically just touch a CR 1/3 undead, and they just disintegrate. Now I got that. I think.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So really, I need something that is going to increase my damage. Is just what I'm going to say.
Okay,
I need
so,
better weapon.
so you'd need
Like,
a
I'm not here to do damage. I'm here to
Could-
help you guys. So I don't
could
mind.
what is it? A short sword or a long sword you've got that's +1?
I have
Okay,
nothing that's
so-
+1.
No,
So
Rivallon.
Stenia now has AC 20.
I have a short
Ooh.
sword +1.
God damn.
Yeah. Stenia's a fucking.
Would it be more beneficial to give that +1 if you're getting a +1 bow to give that +1 short sword to R1 so he has a +1 weapon, and he gives you one of his normal short swords? Because he is primary sword fighter, aren't you? R1
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a college of
swords.
Blades.
Yeah, but
blades. It's kind of in the name.
it's a member of the Blades.
Basically.
It has been. I'm just gonna point. It has been like close to 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks since you went to that magic shop, by the way. So you haven't actually checked their stocks in a while. So
Okay.
pointing at the-
Well, we'll go
Been
to
a
the magic
while.
shop. That sounds fine. Rival can go find his bow. We'll go to the magic shop. We'll meet in the the spice
The Broken
market.
Anchor?
An armor place.
The broken
just in
mast?
case you guys can't find anything, and I need to have a look, see if I can pick up something that's going to increase my AC anyway.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll meet at the armor place where Ustinia's going to be off getting his fitting because they've got to do some measurements and stuff. So, all right.
So Stinny is on his way to there.
He's
I'm going
deposing
to
the
a
whole
weapon shop,
way.
and You're going to.
Okay.
You're going to a moat shop.
Us three go
See
to
you
the
later,
magic
lads.
shop. We'll meet. Yeah, we'll meet you there. Unless Sesh wants to go with Rival.
You're going to a magic shop, right, Rival, or a weapon shop?
Weapon shop.
We're going to the
Can you
magic
get
shop.
magic weapons at a Can you get magic at a weapon shop?
You can get finer weapons. You can get +1s probably, which is just
Yeah,
finery.
+1s. Yeah, most of those
Sure.
aren't magical.
I might be interested in getting a +1 shield. So assuming that's not an armor thing specifically, because if it is,
I mean,
I
you
could go
could-
with.
Yeah, you could. Well, it depends. Sometimes it just depends. Like you could pay for them. You can. Both of them exist. Like there are shields that are +1 because they are magically affected, or there are +1 shields that are because they're so well made.
Like
that
masterwork
they're
weapons
alive.
in Pathfinder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the functionally they're identical in terms of mechanics. It's just like so you can find. It's just harder to find like a mundane +1, but they exist. I mean, Rival's +1 sword is just a mundane +1. It is a particularly nice sword.
Yeah.
And that's why he has that.
And I'm
So it's
naming
up to
myself
you
broke
how you-
because of it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's up to you what you want to do in terms of how you want to go about finding it. But you could join Ustenia because he's going to an armor, and shields would be sold in an armorer's shop.
Well,
for
we're
his
going to
fitting,
meet
so-
Stinny at the armor shop anyway.
He's just going early because he's going for his measurements.
getting his
Yeah,
fitting,
sure.
so-
I'll go with
Rival.
I'll rival because I might as well see if there's anything that catches my eye there as well.
Can we get the company funds off you then? Because we don't have.
How much money do you guys need?
We don't know. It's magic
We don't
items.
know. That's the thing.
I'll give you guys the 110 gold that I got bribed from for rival. So just have 110 gold.
Oh no, you're holding the party money. You're holding
the party money.
That's what we
I'm
meant.
holding party money. Okay, yeah, I'll give you guys.
Wait, you took a bribe?
Yeah, I took a bribe. So yeah, this is my way of making it up to you guys. I'm just going to hand you the pouch with 110 gold in it and say nothing. And then I'm also going to like look through the party gold and be like, all right, what can I get?
We can make it a little easier. We just say that you have access to the party funds. Like if you
Okay.
need to,
There you go. Do that.
Yeah,
you know
I
where
have
each
it.
other's going.
Yeah.
You know where
Yeah.
each other's going. If you need the money, you can go get the money.
Yeah.
Just to make this a bit easier on you all. So you were heading to Rival and Sesh are heading to just a weapons shop, just an arms merchant.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the
The
other
best
two.
one we can find.
Okay, and then the other two, you're heading to the actual magic shop, Sombra's Emporium. That is located. Okay. So Isaac, you've been here before, but it has been a while. It was a little bit of sticker shock last time you were here.
It was the first day. It was when I came in.
Exactly. So it's been at this point, it's been a couple of weeks since you first arrived in Gorgon. But you are much richer in both experience and coin. Entering now.
Maybe the real treasure
that's a
was the
nice
friends
phrase.
we made.
Yes.
And the gold. That also helps.
And the memories we'll take home.
Yeah.
But yes, it is the same shop that you remember. It's a medium-sized stone building in the center, or near the center in the Narrows district, with a nice overlooking kind of view of the rest of the city below from its street. And when you enter, you again see just a whole bunch of items are laid out in cases or on racks and like on walls, just kind of strewn about, very organized. And you see a half-elven woman that is currently conversing with another customer. It looks like an individual who's wearing kind of these elegant robes and has a crow on his shoulder, and they're kind of talking in hushed tones, looking over what seems to be like a what do they call those? You never see like a ring display, like it's a bunch of rings, like in those little like velvet cushions, like it looks like one of those. Like they're talking about like a set of those, like 4 or 5 of them in front of this individual, and they're kind of like speaking to each other. So that's what you see when you enter. Are you going to wait for them to help you, or are you just gonna go looking around kind of the shop?
Mine us do like what's it called? That knowing thing where you're waiting but you're perusing, you know.
Okay, so you're just kind of going around. You're looking at things that are available. And seeing
Yeah.
what's there. Okay. All right. On one of the racks, you very well. Actually, give me an investigation check both of you while you're doing that. I guess that makes sense.
18.
9. Shit, that's the third 5 I've rolled today.
Hey, at least you're getting them out now. R1, actually, you find something pretty nice. You look through like you ever been to an Army Navy surplus store?
Yes.
And it's just laid out, and you're just kind of like going through these bins or these racks, and you're just you're looking for treasure, essentially. You kind of go through, you kind of like going through some of these racks, and you find it's actually got labels, like they're like parchment or vellum labels that are attached to most of these items, and you find a very, very nice set of studded leather armor, and it's got like this interesting pattern all along the breastplate, of what looks to be some sort of like Goliath-looking individual who at one point is stabbed in the heart, buried into the ground, but comes back alive and gets stabbed again and comes back alive, and it kind of keeps repeating all the way around the back, and it's just like this like if you kind of rotate it and you're looking through it, it's just a repeating story of an individual that just keeps coming back to life. And it looks very, very nice. It's a +2. +2 a leather armor, studded leather.
So it's this Goliath-looking guy who gets knocked down, but then gets up again, and they're never gonna keep him down.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should give it to Rival, because then he can have a whiskey drink and a vodka drink.
I'll sing songs that remind me of the good times, and I sing songs that remind me of the
Bad. Oh, fucking hell.
You guys are terrible.
Yep, they are.
At least we agree on something, Roach.
Did anyone else see the D&D meme that's been going around with the DM who was just like, with a secret door, and it asks you the question, what is the sound of silence? And the bot just starts going.
I posted this in the chat, and I was just like, that's perfect. That's so good.
Alright, you said there's no price on it, right?
No, there's not a price. You think it's one of those places like it's like a restaurant where
You have to ask the price. It's too much.
It's probably too much. It does there's no prices, but you can generally get a somewhat of an idea about price. It would be pretty expensive from your experience for this kind of thing. Because I mean that is a very, very powerful item. That's a plus. I mean, +2 is like that. That is not mundane. That is magically imbued.
That comes under rare, like very rare, isn't it? In terms of mechanical.
Yeah, it's that is very rare. Yes.
Yeah. Because a +3 would be wondrous.
Yes. More than like 500 gold.
Oh, a bit more like 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Unless you're stealing it, you ain't taking that home.
I'd say, grab it for me.
Hey.
So
No? Okay.
So when it comes to that.
Guessing I didn't find
I'll
anything.
Well, I was just trying to get him the price. +2 armor, that'd be about 6,000. Armor piece. 6,000 gold pieces for that. You were close.
I had a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you had a very good guess. Yes, you were very good, Isaac.
Very good, Isaac. Gets a gold star. Gold star.
Gold Star of Palor.
Yeah. He just puts it straight on your chest.
Maybe that's what the whole religion is. It's just like you collect like a sticker stamp star system.
Yeah.
Here's
And
your
when you fill the
golden
book
sun.
up,
May Palor's light shine your day.
When you die, you
Angels on your shoulders.
And then they say, you're missing this. You know?
Whoa. You didn't get the one for brushing your teeth every day from your mom? Get out!
My mother
Hell
is
with
not
you.
on this plane of existence anymore.
To hell with you then.
Isaac, you find a couple of things.
Oh, okay.
Just not as big or as grandiose as.
We're not looking for big, to be fair.
Yeah, you're looking for something you can afford. So you actually find, just so I have it all written down. Yeah, here you go. You find a set of these these sickles.
Oh.
That are about hand sickle size, but
Yeah, like-
they're battered, but they're definitely well made. They've been used regularly, but you can tell from there's glass between you and the actual weapons, but they are very sharp. So maybe like a
+1.
+1 weapon. Yeah, +1.
Sickles do 1d6 damage, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
they are light, but they're not
correct.
finesse.
Correct.
So you could dual wield these. These are dual wieldable. I'm sure someone of your stature could do some nasty damage with this. Can you imagine? Just a halfling coming at you with two very sharp sickles, just like hamstringing people? Oh!
Just straight into the Achilles tendon.
Yeah, just
gone.
quang, quang.
You no
Glad
longer
you
have
found
legs.
something
Congratulations.
A good thing about my height.
I mean, if we don't find anything, this might be a good solution to your upgrade.
This is true.
You also find, Isaac, a long sword that is glowing with a slight white light. And it's kind of like hanging on a wall.
Do I get any... Being someone who's kind of... I'll throw an Arcana check with this as well. Being someone who's kind of
Arcana?
magically in tuned, do I get like a sense of its like power at all? Like just like if like not to say like I'm detecting the item, more the fact if it did some sort of elemental damage, can I get a feel of this feels particularly cold?
That would be under the purview of an identify spell.
Would it? Shit.
But given the fact that the weapon is glowing, a light on its own, and you are in the middle of a fairly large and well-stocked magic shop, you are fairly certain that it is a magical weapon.
Is he sure?
I've just thought of something, R1. If there's a possibility this place we're going to is haunted, are we going to want silver?
It's cold iron, isn't it?
Not in this universe.
Not in this universe. Ah, shit.
Normally, if something's a ghost or standard weapons won't hurt it. You'll need silver or a magical
Or
weapon.
magic, yeah. And even then, it only does like half damage, I think.
It depends on the magic.
Yeah, it would depend.
Well, from the tales, I remember that some of the tales I know, yes, silvered weapons are good for enemies that are not vulnerable to traditional types of weapons.
And as you're kind of talking amongst yourself and you're looking at the sword, the woman who was previously speaking with the individual that they were kind of haggling over rings walks over to you. Hello, may I help you? Are you looking for anything in particular?
Is that R1's actual reaction?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
You are going to be my next ex-wife.
I'm gonna just click in his face and go, yes, madam. We are looking for magical items to help us on an upcoming expedition. Myself and my friend
Come
here.
to the right place.
Myself and my friend here are both magic users, and we are setting out. We're setting out on a journey.
What do you need? Arcane focuses? Are you the wizarding type, and do you need spell components or?
We need something a
Do you
little.
have any instruments?
I send the woman a mental telepathy thing saying, "No bagpipes."
A magical instrument?
There aren't any
Yes.
magical instruments in that are bagpipes. I don't think, Rival. I think you're safe there.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
unfortunately.
Special, like you're
Scottish would like to have a conversation with you.
We
You haven't heard him play the
normally
bagpipe.
carry such items. They're rare.
Just a passing fancy.
We deal in more the direct weapons,
they're normally.
items, potions, and scrolls of sort.
We're looking for either items to help protect us or items to embolden our ability as casters. I'm trying to put into words improve our charisma. Trying to not make that sound mechanical. So embolden our abilities as casters, because we both use charisma as casting, I believe.
Yeah.
That might be able to be done. We do have the ability to enchant items here. We could imbue an item with a certain enchantment for a price. Would require the payment in the materials, in the equivalent of the materials, and for the time and effort to enchant the item. To be very specifically, as well as the time it would take to do so.
And how long does it take to enchant an item?
That's very much dependent on the enchantment. A basic enchantment can be a paltry 5 days, but a very advanced enchantment can take weeks to complete.
Unfortunately, madam, we're a little bit strapped for time. The quest we are on is to set off tomorrow, so we would like to peruse your existing stock. However, that's very good to know for future reference.
Well, we have many an armor that can provide protection in many ways. We also have weapons that could aid you in your duties, whatever they may be. I did see you were looking at this sword before I came by. She motions towards the glowing sword with the soft white light on the wall. Would that be something you're interested in?
I believe interest is our middle name, madam. What is its properties? What is...
It is moon-touched. When it is in darkness and it is unsheathed from its scabbard, it will bathe the area in rich moonlight for a small area.
It's a sword that creates dim light, yeah?
Creates moonlight for 15 feet radius.
That's not bad.
And then dim light for an additional 15 feet, so it's 30 feet of light. So like a torch, essentially.
Yeah,
but
it's a
sword.
torch sword.
Torch sword.
And it doesn't need, like, orcs to be nearby. That's fine.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's somewhat rare, but it does have a very limited and somewhat not particularly useful to men enchantment, so it is relatively inexpensive, if that is a problem for you.
Very good to know. Also, just as a note, yes, I was right. There's no bagpipes that are wondrous bard items
No,
in
there
the
aren't.
instruments of the bard section. Just needed to make sure for rival's sake.
Thank you.
They're all string instruments. I'll have you know.
I think we should homebrew in a legendary set of bagpipes just for the fun of it.
Bagpipes are the bellowing wind, and like you can use it as like a wind cannon.
Yeah.
Roach's face.
It's bathed in the white light of Palo right now.
All I can assume is that if you're going to go that, why not go down the Saints Row 4
Attack
The-
people
the
with giant
gun?
dildos?
No, the wub gun. The
Yeah.
one where you like hold like a it's like a radio, I think, and it shoots
Oh.
dubstep.
Or you could get the unicorn one, the pink
Yeah.
unicorn. You lift its tail up and it shoots rainbows.
Yep. Saints Row 4 is so good.
It really is. Just turn your
Anyway.
brain off and accept everything.
Anyways,
Do you have the ability to repair a magical item? Perhaps say for instance, it was damaged and now the magic that's imbued in it is still there but does not work properly?
that could be done. It would be somewhat. It would depend somewhat on the enchantment itself and how damaged it was. Do you have an item that you have in mind?
I do. I have to find out. Look through my notes, find if I have where I wrote down the enchantment.
Well, I mean, I know the enchantment.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
I wrote it.
did I write down in these notes? Oh, that's right. It was just a protection spell. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out the pendant and show it.
May I? And she take
Hand
it.
it over.
See her put her other hand on top of it, and for a second the like color in her eye goes and it's just white, and there's like muttering under her breath, and it comes back, both her eyebrows raised, looks towards you, looks back down. Would you be willing to sell this item?
Not really. I mean,
Our accountant isn't here.
I can tell you the enchantment is incredibly complex and very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, it's worth a lot to you.
It's worth quite a bit, if it could be repaired. I would not have the ability to repair it. It would require a very powerful magic user to do so. The enchantment would have to be duplicated and another gem and then reimplanted into this necklace itself to then have the same effect. I don't have that ability, but I do know individuals who do, and this would be worth quite a bit to them. I would be willing to buy it off of you.
How much?
Hang on. Before you quote a price, if I remember correctly from the last time I came in here, there is a certain tax that has to go to the company, correct? Either on purchasing or purchasing or buying of items from either party. However, on a trade basis, you can negotiate around that, correct?
That is correct.
I think I wanted to be more prudent if you offered it up as a trade.
I was not aware of this tax.
Ching.
Small win for Isaac.
Remembering
The
law.
gold worth of this item, I'd be willing, if I was to buy it off of you, would be 2,500 gold.
God damn.
That's worth a lot more to us than a broken gem, don't you think, Marwan?
Yeah. At least in its current state.
Me and Arwan both speak Draconic. I will say, but does this woman speak Draconic as well? Shit.
Uh-huh.
You don't know.
The last person you dealt with that had a magic shop could read your mind. So
that is also really very, very true.
yeah.
Would you be willing to trade the item for something that we could use directly without having to get
Yeah.
it fixed? Okay.
Of course.
I just didn't want to impose on you and your acquired item.
No. It's of no use to me now, and it'd be some time before I could get it repaired myself.
It would cost quite a bit of money to have it repaired. An order of magnitude more than I'm willing to trade in terms of monetary
Yes.
value. To give it an estimate.
It's more prudent for you to sell it as shall we say parts as well, by the sounds of it.
Of course.
We trust your judgment, and
I'm willing to trade in the equivalent amount in items in my shop.
okay, right. So
So you have? Do you want just a list of items that she has?
yeah,
available?
that's probably
Yeah. Because
Okay. Right.
I'm trying
Okay.
to go down 4 different tracks of items in my head. That would be nice.
Okay. Of her current stock that she knows she for certain has. She might have other things, but she'd have to go and look for them. Of her ready stock, she has a +1 sickle, a +2 shield, a +2 hand crossbow, cloak of the bat, a figurine of wondrous power, which is like a figurine of an onyx dog.
oh, she's got the dog one.
Gloves of missile snaring. Keogotham's ornament or ointment. There we go. Ring of Earth Elemental Command. Rod of Rulership. 2 sets of Sending Stones. And she has quite a few spell scrolls of various different types. Like blindness, deafness, call lightning, color spray, insect plague, locate creature, mirror image, that like the of that ilk, and she also has an unbreakable arrow. And that's of her ready stock. You also did see a +2 armor set of studded leather on the rack. But yeah.
And did she have any plus AC rings, plus anything charisma based at all?
Would you like her to go look? Because this is her ready-made stock, like that's displayed out there, but she has.
I would
stock
like
in the
her
back
to
that
go look, and I think we're at time for the break. So can she do that in the
Would you
break?
like me to go look in the back?
Look in the back real quick.
So she'll take a look in the back while we take our bio break and such. It's a great time to go get yourself a cup of tea or a little snack. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. All right.
I'm going to get some to eat because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet today.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take you up on that offer. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea.
And I'm gonna mute.
find like an old abandoned high school because this is like a post-apocalypse thing, and they find like D&D dice on the ground. And my brain was just like, "How dare you? That's hilarious."
I'm bringing us back anyway. I've got our voices back on the stream.
Cracking open a cold one with the boys during D&D.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
Is that vanilla Coke?
Yeah.
Very nice. We don't get that in the UK very often. It's like
we have it
Not
here.
nice.
we
Oh,
don't.
it's
We
not
do,
great.
it's
I
not
don't
very. It's not very common here. I quite like vanilla Coke, so it
It's
upsets me.
horrible.
I like cherry Pepsi. Cherry Pepsi's pretty good.
Pepsi's
Cherry
nasty.
Coke's good. Cherry Coke's good.
Cherry Coke is
Pepsi
also good. Might as well just drink Dr. Pepper, though, to be fair.
That's true. But this was on sale, so.
Drink a can of Canada Dry. Not sponsored. Could be, though.
Hey, if you do want to sponsor this podcast, email Midgeman at themidgemansworld.
Nice.
What is
Does anybody like steak?
Yeah, there's a steak, mash, possibly beans. I can't quite say gravy
Please
for
tell me
sure.
That's not
Peas.
gravy on the steak.
It's pepper sauce.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Whew.
Worried for a second there. Oh, it's gonna have to disown you.
Okay, babe.
I have
Aren't
to
you
like
guys
that.
glad I'm not on board this campaign?
Yes. I've never seen you play a bard ever, but I can just imagine you pull out the guitar and
Yeah, you'd
attempt
have
to
actual
sing.
songs.
I ended up
and
not.
everything.
Ended up not doing it quite a lot for Artlocks because he became a bard of Valor.
Valor.
So he his thing was basically battle cries.
Oh. That or Sabaton. One of the other. We haven't quite
Well,
figured that out yet.
And Arwen,
Panzer Elite on the ridge.
his focus is his sword, so he doesn't need his instruments to focus his magic.
He just needs them to. He just needs the instruments because he likes making money.
Yeah, basically. Oh, and songs of rest. Although he could sing, but
Oh, the E string is horribly out of tune.
Also, it's mash, and I also have like garlic roasted potatoes here as well, because my diet consists of potatoes,
and garlic.
and garlic. It's to keep all the vampires away, watching all this Castlevania shit, and I'm like, my god, vampires are fucking, that shit makes vampires scary again. Seriously, that shit's great. If you haven't watched it, it's really good.
I really want to watch Chernobyl. That's on my list.
I've heard it's pretty good.
I've heard it's very, very good.
I've
But-
heard there's a lot of interesting things in it, just involving like the people who survived, I guess, or
I'm
whatever.
tempted to watch the first 2 episodes of Band of Brothers tonight, though, because it's 75 years since that, fateful day.
Yep.
So I'm tempted to go watch the Paradrop episode.
I didn't realize it, but it was kind of funny how I rewatched our Arma 3 World War II campaign, and I just rewatched like last night the D-Day drop.
Well, a lot of Dakotas flew over my house earlier today. Because there's a big thing, because it's 75 years. There's a big.
DC5 or DC8s?
I couldn't see because it's quite cloudy here today, but it's one of those things. Like mainly, I got like silhouettes and the engines, but they're doing a fly from where they lifted off. Thing they're basically recreating the Paradrop.
Yeah.
And they're going to fly over Normandy, and
They'll
they
be alive
flight
for
path
the
under me.
100th anniversary, probably, maybe.
Yep, which will be. I hope there's something big happens because I really. It sounds really harsh, but I really enjoyed a lot of the content that came out around the 100 years since the Great War in the UK. There was a massive
It's
thing
not harsh
about.
at all. That's exactly like the 100-year anniversary of World War One was big. That was super.
And
big.
like
I mean,
although the World War One in color stuff that came out was all the work that
That
went
was
into
great.
that, it was
But
fantastic.
like, all I can imagine is that the actual 100-year anniversary of World War II will just be us getting World War III.
Nah.
No, come on. That would be
You never know.
That's
Or at
gonna
the very
happen.
least, it'll be the war for Brexit because it'll just be England going at itself again.
High Lord
Well, the rest of the
Walt
world
Disney the
lost.
18th will not stand for that.
He just steps out of the freezer and he's like, "Motherfuckers!"
Roach, you're doing that contemplative stroke of your beard. Stop it.
He's coming up with magic items, I think.
Yes.
He's searching the back of his stores. I now
He just
have
really likes
like
his
an
beard.
extra because I forgot to go
I
check
grew
my.
up for a reason, damn it.
I've just had to add an extra name of known aliases to my name of known aliases, so I don't forget to use this one that I wrote down.
Also, yes, I wrote what Cecil's name would actually look like in full in Draconic into the chat because I want to see what it would look like, and it's actually pretty cool how it looks.
Yeah. Celestial language looks like a lot of pound coins put together. Look, the pound coins in there twice. There's the euro.
Oh, I guess I'd have to look on the stream to see what Arwen's name looks like in halfling.
Y capital E M capital V Q 7 A I A D L R.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think it translates very well.
Yeah, guessing not.
Right, are we ready to restart?
Yeah.
Fantabidozy.
All right.
Don't ever make me say that again.
You'll notice that.
Someone just pulls out a gun and holds it to Major's head.
Thank
Say
you.
it again, bitch.
Thank you. I will never say
So you
Fantabidozy.
asked
Oh, damn
her
it!
to go ahead and check the rest of her
Yes.
stock. See what she had in,
Yeah.
in stock. Okay. She heads back and after spending a couple of minutes back there, she comes back with a small list of items that she has that aren't directly in the front room. And she lists them off in order, like from cheapest to most expensive, up until your price limit of your trade-in.
Yep.
So she has some scrolls. So scroll of Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Scroll of Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch
Scroll of
Blast.
Friends. Scroll of Dancing Lights. Scroll of Fairy Fire. Scroll of Disguise Self. Scroll of Catapult. Scroll of Wrathful Smite. Scroll of Magic Missile. Scroll of Find Familiar. Scroll of Spider Climb. Scroll of Fly. Scroll of Vitriolic Sphere. And that's it for her scrolls. She also has quite a few health potions in the back of standard health potions, a few potions of greater healing, and 2 potions of superior healing. She has a +1 short sword in the back, as well as a +1 mace, or not mace, lance.
Quite different. Quite different.
Those are two
quite
very
different.
different weapons.
Quite different weapons.
But I imagine Justinia could use the lance.
Both
because-
used by cavalry, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also has a necklace of adaptation, pipes of the sewers,
Oh, wow! Pipes of the Sewers. I just read about that one. That's the one where you get to control rats.
yep,
Everyone knows only Hugo can control rats.
a saddle of the cavalier,
Oh.
and that's what she has available in the back. That's not directly out in front.
So no rings.
No rings that are within your price range.
Okay.
She doesn't say that directly, but that's what you
Right.
get from
Yeah.
that. You're offering her an incredibly expensive and very valuable magical item. She's not gonna insult you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't think we want the scrolls.
No.
There's a couple of nice ones there, though.
There are some.
Yeah, there are some nice ones.
And as someone who's read most of those spells up, there's some really good ones. But we have one member of the party that can already fly. Very few of us require fairy fire or anything like that. Wrathful Smite is good if we come up against multiple creatures.
I also missed one. Scroll of Zephyr Strike.
Oh, Zephyr's Strike, yeah.
Zephyr Strike. Oh, and also I forgot another one because this I really need to reorganize this. There's also a lodestone. A lone stone.
A lone stone. What is
Yeah,
a lone?
it's specifically a protection lodestone. So you attune to it, and it will it essentially you gain +1 AC while the stone prism orbits your head.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That could be
Lone
useful.
stone.
I thought it was iron stone or something like that, but okay. Yeah, okay.
I might be an iron stone. It depends on how I usually put the capital, but yeah, no, probably an iron stone. But it's an iron stone of protection, so it provides a +1 AC bonus.
That could be very useful. That's kind of what we came to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you inquire, that is 1,200 gold pieces.
Oh, so we've got room to maneuver with that one.
Yes.
Very good. Right. R1, what was on our list of things? Because we discussed. We discussed.
So we discussed the +1 sickle, the as a potential item.
The +1 short sword as well that was added to that list now, which
Yeah.
would probably be
Well,
better
yeah.
than the sickle, wouldn't it?
They're relatively
yes.
the same, I'm pretty sure.
No, sickle does 1d. Okay.
I think it's the difference between a D6 and a D8, I think.
No, +1 sickle does a normal sickle does 1d4.
Okay.
I believe.
Why don't you two think about this, discuss
Yeah,
it
we'll-
amongst yourselves, and we'll go to the other two on their journey. So Rivalon and Sesh, you two find a weapons dealer in Gorgon. And what are you specifically looking for?
I am looking for a bow that gives me +1 if I can, and Sesh is looking for a shield.
Though I might look for something else. It depends on what I find here, and also depends
Okay.
on what roll I roll here.
All right. So you're looking for a bow.
That's a religion check.
Okay.
That's my own head. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right. For so just a +1 bow or a nice bow from there. So okay. If they've got one in stock. Specific item. You are presented with quite a few very good-looking bows in front of you. Some with like really nice carvings in the wood that are like highly decorated. Some with like gold leaf inlay, and others like very beautiful works of art. But nothing that would particularly give you a huge advantage when it comes to like your own bow that you have now.
Right.
Like they're all normal longbows.
So aesthetically, they look beautiful, but there's nothing practically better about them.
Yeah. Make an investigation check.
This is where I roll like a 2 or something.
We'll see.
13.
13. Okay. You are told that they do have one special bow in the back.
Mm-hmm.
That it would cost quite a bit of money, and it wouldn't necessarily be able to damage or to do more or impart more damage on a target. But they were given this in a trade a couple of months back, and it does seem to be somewhat odd when they have used it hunting. When they've tested it out, it seemed to give them some sort of sixth sense of danger when they wielded the bow.
Okay, let's take a look.
Okay. You're presented with a very mundane-looking bow. It actually looks more rough than the one you're currently using. But when you kind of, you pick it up and you kind of test the draw weight and get it in your hands, it's balanced. It's sturdy. Feels a bit more sturdier than the one you're using, even though it doesn't look like it should. But you definitely feel something with this. It feels like you have a bit more awareness around you when you're holding it.
So it gives me no other bonuses other than the fact it seems to give me more awareness.
It'd be the equivalent of a longbow of warning. A longbow of warning is it warns you of danger. While the weapon is in your person, you have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, you and any of your companions within 30 feet of you can't be surprised.
Oh, nice.
Oh, can't be surprised except when incapacitated by something other than non-magical sleep. Weapon magically awakens you and your companions within range if any of you are sleeping naturally when combat begins.
That's kind of a nice little sentry weapon, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very good for somebody on watch, that kind of stuff. And yeah.
I hate you guys, you know that, right? Because I can't read a word of what your guys are saying.
Are they talking in Draconic? Yes, they are.
It's the only language that, I mean, before you were here, that no one else knew.
Well,
So
I'm not
what do you
there,
wanna-
so I can't actually know the conversation.
Yeah, so what do you, what do you
Okay,
wanna
how
do?
much for this bow?
S- 600 gold pieces.
Try again.
Make a persuasion check.
Where's persuasion again? There you go.
Oh, hey, well done.
Not bad.
Thank you.
15.
15.
It was a natural 18. 600 gold pieces.
No, I don't think so. Sorry, mate.
Takes it back from you, and you feel the awareness of your surroundings kind of fade, and it's kind of weird, but how has it? And he props it back up in the back.
600.
600.
You said 500. You've had it, or 550 even, but 600 no. Anyway, I'm gonna be trading in my bow with it. So.
Did you? You didn't say that.
No, I didn't.
Well, okay. So, Sesh, what do you want to do?
While, excuse me, while Rivellon was over there checking out the bows, I was over there looking at the shields and being distracted by all the throwing axes they have, because I have 2 throwing axes because I like throwing axes.
Right. So you're just looking for. So you're looking through shields right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone will come over, or anything like that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a well maintained shop. There's quite a few people to talk with. Of the shields they have, most of them are pretty standard. You know, wood and metal shields. You know, reinforced, that kind of stuff. They do have one really well-made mundane shield available. That has like a lot of designs on it and reinforcements across. It's like banding across it that makes it particularly hardy. So it'd be equivalent to a +1 shield. And when if you inquire, that one would be 575 gold pieces.
I don't think I have that actually. Even though I took all that gold off of Rivellon, I don't think I have that. No, I don't. Not close.
How much was it?
575. I could haggle, but I don't think I have anything near that anyway. So, sir, you wouldn't have any silver weapons either, by chance?
I could take a look. It's not a very common thing to do, but we might have a few spare in the back.
If you have any silver maces, I will see about purchasing them.
Goes in checks. Second here.
I don't even know how much extra silver weapons cost.
They're not cheap.
No, I'd imagine not.
He brings out 3 weapons. We made these for an order, but they never got picked up. And what you see there is a short sword that is silvered, a bundle of arrows that are silvered, like all the heads are silvered. And you see a longsword that is silvered.
I will call, assuming Rivellon is finished with his conversation, I will call him over.
Oh no, I'll be having another conversation with him in a minute. But yes, I'm
Rivellon.
coming over because Sesh is coming now. Yeah.
Rivellon, I have some silver arrows here that might help against the possible undead we might find on an island.
Yeah, good point. Okay, how many?
20.
Yeah, it's a normal bundle that you
bundle.
can buy. Standard bundle.
Okay, and how much for the arrows?
Whatever you'd normally pay for arrows plus 50%. So.
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
Like 2 gold.
Arrows are pretty cheap, yeah.
Yeah. Let's say 5 gold and just call it.
Yeah, even 5.
All right.
Charging.
I will
Okay,
pick
well,
up
I'll take the arrows.
I actually don't have proficiency in long swords or short swords, so I can't use either of them.
Well, I'll take the arrows.
Yeah, well,
I get special proficiency in warhammers, but otherwise I can only use light and non-martial weapons.
well, no, that's you can still use it. You just don't get your proficiency bonus. I mean, that's why I carry a longsword and a fucking flail. Like I don't do it for the proficiency. I go with right. I'm out of spell slots. There's something right in front of me.
Yeah.
And one slashing,
Just
one
so
bludgeoning.
you guys know, an arrow is or a bundle of arrows is 1 gold.
So it's
Okay,
2
so-
gold pieces for the.
Two
We'll say
gold.
5. We'll say 5 even, just for what it is. I thought it was already 2. So
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Let's take. Oh, we said 5. We agreed on 5, so I'll take that.
yeah, we'll say 5.
Alright.
Because
Uh,
arrows are not expensive to silver, really. Like bulk those out.
I imagine
It's
you
more
just dip them
expensive.
in molten silver, and that's basically all you need to do.
It's
really.
more expensive for like weapons, like hardy weapon, like swords and axes and stuff. But yeah, a long sword. If you were gonna buy that silvered, that is. I'm just gonna double check here to make if they actually have one listed. I'll use that one, but they might not. Don't think they do. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it would be 30 gold pieces for a long sword.
That's about right.
silvered.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And for a short sword, that's going to be what's a normal short sword cost? Short sword's 10. I'm going to say 20 gold pieces for a short sword.
That's really
So
good,
50
considering it
altogether.
cost me 200 gold pieces in the last fucking campaign to get a
I'll
silver
take
long
the
sword.
short sword.
I'll buy both.
You're buying both. Oh, he's gone again.
Gone again.
Yeah, it was expensive as hell to get silver
was gonna get
brass
the short-
silver knuckles.
I was going to get the short sword for Arwen.
Well,
I here?
once Mikey gets... There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Mikey.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm actually getting really bad issues with Discord at the moment. Surprisingly,
Did
Yeah.
you... So you said you were going to take both?
I'm gonna take both. Yeah.
Okay, just bring in the normal stats of a short sword and a long sword, and just put that they're like
Silver,
quotation silvered, and that'll be fine.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And if they have any spare throwing axes, I might buy one. But I already have 2, and they're also my preferred.
They have some.
smithy.
They'd be at cost
Okay.
in the book. So whatever you can, if whatever they're listed, you can buy them at that.
All right. I will buy
one?
2 more. I'll just let that there. Just buy 2.
You said you were gonna have another conversation with the man.
I am going to have another conversation with man about that longbow.
All right.
Okay,
Walk
so
up
you're
to
saying 600, not shifting from that. Understandable. I can appreciate it. It's a good buy. How about this? I've got a large gold bracelet, a gold bird cage with electrum filigree, and my longbow to trade in as well.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, obviously, I'm just trying to see if you'll trade that as well as gold to bring the price down for me personally. But
Well, he remembers your last offer. Well, he'll negotiate if that. So your persuasion was 15. Or no. 18.
18.
$525.
with the gold bracelet and everything,
It's not a lot of gold.
large gold bracelet.
So it's a large gold bracelet.
Yeah, they're 250 gold each. We already established this.
Yes.
Well, that's actually going to be his ability to see how much it's worth.
All I'm going to see is him take 300 off the top, mate. That's all I want to do.
He just rolled a natural one to see how much it's worth. I'm willing to go down to 490.
Not worth. That's not worth it.
450.
475.
465.
470.
Done.
Okay, 470 gold pieces plus everything else that you said, and you get a and you can search it up in the items section. There is a longbow of warning.
Yep.
You
And then I have to do
received
all the
that.
bits. Okay, so that's out.
You should be able just to drag it over for the longbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I be fair in assuming that I can just purchase a extra, what would be the word, like scabbards or like throwing handles for my axes? Because like I need to keep
Yeah.
them somewhere. I only have like 2. I can only keep 2 on me, so I need to buy another spare, scabbard slash whatever it
it's
is.
pretty easy. Find that stuff.
I like the idea that in the corner of all of this is Ustini is just like being measured
Keep
up
posing.
by no he's got
Keep
like two
posing.
assistants like fitting rivets to him and stuff. He's like, what are you two bozos doing? Like
You
Oh, no,
should
he's a
be able to
different shop,
find
isn't
it.
I'm looking for longbow. Was it of warning?
Yeah, you should just be able to type in longbow into the item
Yeah.
section, and
Yep.
it'll be longbow, and it should be the second one from the top. You have
D&D.
that?
I've got D&D handbook. It's only got the one.
That might be a DM's guide thing.
Might be. Hold on, I'll drag it into your. If you've already done your money transfer, I'll
Yeah.
drag it into your thing. Okay, you should have a. Well, actually,
Exemplary
you just-
longbow.
Yeah, let me identify that because we don't want the same thing happening that we did last time. There you go.
Also, can
Longbow
I say
warning.
that I picked up the tiger eye thing that I wanted to make, that I had the jeweler cut for me?
Yeah, that's simple enough.
Alright, now I've got to do all my attacks and things again.
Nope, they should be
Yeah, I've
working
got to
just
do
fine.
them on my quick keys down the bottom.
Oh right, yep.
Oh, that's a thing.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, you can do that. So while that's going on there, you two in the magic shop, what are you doing?
Wait, what were we inquiring about?
you have the message. I'm gonna leave this to you.
Yeah.
You're more persuasive
Yeah.
than I am.
All right. Can you tell me more about this this short sword you have?
It is a particularly well forged weapon that is more well suited to combat and provides a cleaner and sharper cut. +1.
It's just a +1.
So it's just a +1.
+1.
All right. How much was the iron stone?
The Iron Stone of Protection is 1,200 gold pieces.
Yeah.
And how much is the short sword?
+1 short sword is 1,010 gold pieces.
Which is way more than Rival paid for one.
Yeah, well, he was getting a mundane one. This would be considered a magic weapon if you were to attack something that is invulnerable to magic weapons.
Right.
Whereas his short sword is not magical, so it would not.
Okay.
So that's
How much are the
that's your
sending
point.
stones worth?
The sending stones. Either set is worth about 1,000 gold pieces. They're expensive because they allow you to send messages over essentially unlimited.
And how
What's
much is the shield?
The +1 shield with +2 shield that you were
Both of them.
both of them. The +1 shield. Well, the +2 shield is 6,000 gold pieces. It's very expensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the +1 shield is about 900 gold pieces.
Okay.
Roach,
Yee.
you've got me at +6, so you haven't got my +2 proficiency on there.
You
That's
should be
3
able to
proficiency.
Yeah, you should
That's
have a
something you'd
+3
put
for
in.
that. That's something you should be able to put in. Modify that,
How?
like you did with your last bow.
The bonus.
Yeah. There you go. Now you're at a +8.
Thank you.
So,
I'm sure it was too low. +6.
I mean, yeah, that's what you already did, I think, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, the standard.
2.5 it was worth, Crimson.
2.5.
So basically we could get 2 items out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the Ioun Stone would be the big item that you'd pick up, and then you can pick up a smaller item.
Well, that's the Iron Stone was 1,200. You said we could technically get that and the Sending Stones.
Yeah.
Or that and the
Okay.
shield.
Yep.
Or that and the sword.
Yeah.
So what are you wanting to do?
It's basically a choice of offense, defense, utility.
Right. I'm thinking we go offense.
So you think the +1 sword and the Iron Stone for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get then if that's the case, then you can pick up and we'll you can have those and we'll call the difference even.
Yeah.
On that because it's less than like 100 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Bear or something like that. So you're not gonna be able to get anything else with that.
Save us the
so you now
tax.
So you have an Ioun Stone of protection
Yoink.
and a +1 short sword.
Yeah.
So we still haven't spent any money yet, is the thing as well.
No, that was all just trade that you just did.
How much did you say the shield was worth?
About 900 gold pieces. For
900.
+1.
Damn.
Expensive. Magic items are expensive.
Yeah, I was just saying no, but in the party we've got about 500, haven't we? I was gonna say if we could also pick that up gold wise for Sesh, that'd be good. But
I could throw in another 100 gold.
I mean,
No, we still won't have enough.
still don't have enough.
No. You don't have a lot of money as a party.
No.
You've been splurging on things a lot.
Well, they've all been necessary things like horses.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, that's a question. Can we bring our horses with us on these boats?
I mean, it'd be big enough.
Or do we just want to say we'll just pay, like a
We don't know.
structure board?
We don't know how long we're gonna be gone.
Yeah,
Well, you could
Trumpet's
just drop 'em
Prize
on
is
and
fairly
be like-
large.
I think horses might be good to have while exploring an island.
So
Wait,
are you
is +1 not in the items?
You don't search the +1. You search the actual item base. So if you're looking for the short sword, type in short sword, and it'll be one of the ones listed. Should be, or maybe I'll have to do the short sword.
I don't have it under items.
Okay, let me bring that into your inventory. Fine, short sword is now a +1 short.
Yeah, I need you to do the same with my magic item. The only items it gives
Yeah.
us access to are simple ones from the book.
And the protection stone is for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Ioun Stone of protection. There you go.
Fab.
It's in your inventory now. So
Yeah,
if
if I'm-
you equipped it,
Yeah, I have to
you can
throw
click
it in the
little
air.
Bag. Yeah, if you click the little bag that's next to the red dragon, that'll in the inventory thing, and so that it says it's equipped, it should increase your AC by 1.
It did not.
Click it one time. Again.
Already. Give me a sec. Yeah. Ironstone. I've clicked it onto equipped and it hasn't changed it.
Give me a second here. Let me just double check.
Is it because for the Iron Stone, maybe it's because you need to use an action to equip it? Because I have to use an action to throw it in the air.
Is it an action or a bonus action?
I believe it's an action. I remember after reading it.
Is it listed in your actions?
Oh yeah, when you use an action to toss one of those stones.
Yeah, maybe it's a short-term thing. Either way, we can keep track of it.
Yeah, I can manage. I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's fine.
we spent a long time doing shopping things. So is there anything else anybody wants to do before you?
I wanna fetch some general supplies, but I can just do that list book price, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna sell my short sword, my normal one.
Okay. Sell it for. Because it's $20. It's 20 gold pieces for a normal short sword out of the box. Sell it for 10.
Okay.
You can sell it for 10 gold pieces. Okay. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got everything you wanted? All your stuff?
Other Steve.
Steve. All right. What do you all want to do now that you've done? You've all at this point you've met back up at your agreed upon location. Are you wanting to spend the rest of the night in the city before leaving, or are you gonna just? What are you doing?
I'm gonna
Maybe
give.
just get to the ship.
I'm gonna give Arwan the
Silver sword.
Silver sword.
Okay.
I think he's giving you the silver sword.
Right. Okay.
Silver short sword.
Yep.
Because a long sword's pretty much as tall as you, and you're stupid. Unless you need to pole vote over something like that.
I mean, I have a long sword.
For you, it's a longsword. She will pull out the silvered longsword in its scabbard and turn to Isaac and say, "Do you have anything you can use in melee against undead in case you need it?"
Against undead. Do I have anything? Not per se, but I have more than enough abilities to hit them from range. I would say that is worth more on maybe Ustinia, who doesn't have said ranged or close combat if we come to ghosts or whites or anything that would require silver.
She nods because she has all of her magic that she can use on undead, so she's not too worried about it herself.
Same as if you think I've got a cleric spell list, so I'm quite effective against undead. Like,
Same.
yeah.
So are we spending the night on the town?
I'm gonna go to that
What
really
time
nice
is it?
place.
What time is it?
By the time you've gone through and done all this shopping, kind of met back up with each other, it is fairly. Hold on a second. Stuff together here. Okay. It's probably like 2 in the no, 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's getting close to night.
I'm gonna go to that really nice bathhouse because I deserve a treat before we go off and possibly have to kill undead.
Bathhouse or perform. Oh god.
I'm gonna go to the temple.
Okay.
I'm going to wander into the armorer's place. You know, the place to get armor from.
Where yeah, that's where we are. That's where we met up.
Yeah, you guys are going away. I'm just going to wander into that. See what we've got.
Okay.
If I can find anything.
I say, well, if we say we meet at the boat at dawn, then we all have free reign to do whatever we want.
Sure.
Okay. I will say whatever you want to do for that time, you can. So, Isaac, you can spend your time at the temple praying and everything. R1, you can make a performance check to see how well you do with your time. Sesh, you spend 10 gold pieces on a fairly nice bath experience.
Yay.
Rivalon, you don't find anything too particularly special at the armors section. Like it's all mundane. No, there's no magic items or anything particularly good.
Nothing that would be an upgrade on my studded leather. So.
Not particularly. Like you could find there are armors better than your studded leather, but there's no like studded leather +1 or anything like that.
No,
Like,
it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, okay.
Yeah.
Performance.
Neat performance check.
Excuse me.
25.
All right, you find a fairly nice place and you play your heart out, and you get yourself
Crying my heart out.
110 gold pieces. the whole
Wow.
night. You were in the Narrows district, and I rolled a 19. See how well you did. So. Did fairly well, and also with a 25 performance check. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So you make back quite a bit of money. So yeah, 110 gold pieces throughout your time, and then, you all kind of shuffle back and fall asleep, in the tavern that you normally stay in. That you've been staying in since you arrived in
The city of Gorgon.
Yeah. The shittiest, most rundown place.
I mean, hey, it's homely.
Available. Yeah. But you all meet back at dawn in front of the Strumpet's Cry on the dock.
We have our horses, I'd assume, because we're bringing them with us.
Yep. You have your horses. Bring them
And
up on
Barry.
the gangplank.
And Barry.
And Barry. You up on the gangplank, and they're taken by the crew and are loaded down into the hold, where there is room for horses to be held. And as you ride, you are welcomed by the captain. She welcomes you aboard and then gives the order to cast off, and you start seeing the crew do so.
We brought our horses on board, just making sure, yes?
Yes.
Yes. That was,
Just said that.
Cool.
just said that.
Sorry,
You need to tune in here.
sorry, I'm just making sure I've still got supplies, but half listening.
Right. But yes, you have your horses, and you begin to cast off, and you start seeing the shape and structures of Gorgon getting smaller and smaller as the Strumpet's Cry goes further and further out to sea. Technically the first time you've been away from Gorgon proper since going to deal with the Aquilon, which was quite the endeavor. But yeah, you're all standing on deck as you see it fade away in the distance.
I go make myself useful.
Okay. It's not a lot for you to do. Like, there's a fairly good crew. It's not like understaffed or anything like that. They're all doing their stuff and getting things getting things done and working on things, cleaning the ship, scrubbing, all this kind of stuff. There's not a lot of open positions to work at. You're kind of actually, a lot of you just feel kind of awkwardly useless in a lot of ways. But you do notice that the first mate is standing on the raised deck in the back of the ship and looking down at you, and he he's just watching you.
R1 pulls out the bagpipes and starts with a sea sound.
No.
I don't have my bagpipes anymore. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah. So, what would you all like to do with your time on board the ship? It is early in the morning still, but you are.
I'm gonna split my time between working on my book and practicing with my swords, coming up with a performance with them, juggling, and all that.
And watch him lose his fingers.
All right. You do that. Anything else anybody wants to do with their time?
I want to continue my carvings.
Carvings. Okay, you find a nice little spot. Get like a barrel. There's like a little like half barrel or like small keg barrel that you're just sitting on and just kind of whittling.
Want to actually
Carving.
try and go for a proper design this time.
Okay. What are you trying to design?
I'm gonna try and design one with the symbol of Palor on, and then like some flourishing patterns, and then I also want to try and design one of our party defeating the Displacer Beast.
I wouldn't be in that one. I don't think. No, I wouldn't be.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, give me a.
That was a great episode, though. By the way, when
Thank you.
I listened to it back, it was pretty good.
Give me a. Give me a dexterity check.
Just flat dexed. Yep.
Well, it's going to be a multi-part check. Give me a dexterity check, and then give me a. Gonna say an intelligence check to apply the skills that you've learned.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be wisdom?
Do you want me to do a check with the tools? Or just
sure,
flat? Or is that something? No, I can't actually do that in.
Yeah, you can't actually do that. So just give me a dexterity check.
Okay, no
That
worries.
should give you everything you need.
14, and you wanted an intelligence. 16.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Well, you're able to recall the events pretty well, and you're able to get a lot of details. So it's somewhat hindered by kind of some trouble you're having working with the wood and not getting
The wood, the claw.
or the claw. You're not able to get it as detailed as you'd like with current you're not as dexterous
Yeah.
to get it. But I mean, it looks fairly nice. You can tell what's going on. And that's what's important. So yeah, it looks fairly nice with the amount of time you spent on it.
Cool. So they're two. What would you class them in terms of? If I had to put something in my
5 gold piece claw artwork.
So okay, so I'm kind of doing this in good and bad because I've got the basic ones and these are good. You'd say
Moderate.
The average.
What would Rivellon like to do with his time?
Rivellon is getting used to the grip of his bow and how it draws and things like that. It's a different bow, it's got a different feel to it, he's got to get used to it. Plus the fact he's marvelling at the fact he's so ultimately aware of everything that's going on around him.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Is it like
Sesh?
Spidey sense? Because that's what Red's put down as my name of my bow is now my Spidey bow.
Not exactly. Like it's more like you can get. You ever have that weird thing where you see something out of the corner of your eye and it's like an after image of something, but it's not really there? Now imagine that the after image that you're feeling is there, that you're able to feel that around you. So it's like everything's like peripheral and you can tell where things are at.
So if R1 decides he wants to kind of creep up on me and try and scare me, it's just like, don't even think about it, R1.
Yeah, you cannot be surprised. But then again, no, actually, the weird thing is that you're also noticing other people feel that because anybody who's with any allies who are within 30 feet of you feel the same way. So a lot of you have also felt this as the last couple hours.
It's my fault.
Randomly.
Sorry.
It's cool.
Fleeting ways. And Sesh, what did you want to do with your time?
She's going to pull like a piece of stone, like about the size of my cell phone. So it's about 6 inches tall, 2.5, 3 inches wide, and she will draw a port. Well, she will etch in a portrait of the first mate, who's probably still standing on the rigging, not the rigging, sorry, the raised deck, just watching everyone.
Hey, he's keeping an eye out, watching, like swaying with the ship, like it's in second nature. He's keeping a special eye on you, 6, or you,
5.
you
5.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, she will like etch, I guess, a portrait of him into the piece of stone.
Okay. Give me a
I have proficiency with Mason's tools, so.
Okay, give me a dexterity check with, and then add your proficiency bonus to it. Whatever that might be.
So that would be 3. Okay. To roll a non-skill thing, I put 3 in the bottom left-hand corner and just click it right. That's how you roll it. Or you just drag the d20 off. Okay.
Well, you would put the modifier in there, and then you put the
drop the d20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad.
Not bad. It looks okay. It's not the worst you've ever seen. It's not the best, but it's fairly good.
I got like the
Are you a-
top knots
Are you a flat
off.
0 on deck?
Yeah,
Ah.
thankfully. I think. No, sorry, that should be a 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a -1.
That's going
Okay,
to suck.
well, it's a little less good, but it's still passable.
Sorry to ruin
It's
it for you.
average. It's mediocre.
Yeah,
It's not the worst drawing she's ever seen in her life, which is something.
But yeah, you all spend this time. You spend the better part of the day working on your various tasks and doing your various things. At around once it starts getting towards night, or not night, but like the sun is starting to set or get low into the ground, or low in the horizon. Give me a perception check. I'm gonna say, since you all need light for what you're doing, Sesh and
I can
Isaac,
see in the dark.
I've got
Yeah,
dark
but you're
vision.
still working. You're still working with. No, I'm saying you're working on something, so you needed some light to work on. You're not going to be down in the bottom of a deck working by candlelight doing your carving.
Yes.
When you have sunlight, so you're on deck, whereas the other individuals were probably not on deck while they were doing their practicing and stuff like that. They're probably in their cabin.
Would it
enough.
be wise to throw swords around inside a bit?
I mean, you
But
won't lose
is
them
it- is it-
overboard.
Yeah, you won't lose them overboard, but would it be advisable to do it in around rope rigging?
Oh, true. Good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
There goes
So-
half the rigging, the entire ship falls over, everyone dies. Great.
So I will say Isaac and Sesh, give me a perception check.
Oh,
Nice.
very nice.
Okay.
Noise.
Skills, perception.
Nice.
17. So we have a
Hey.
17 and a 23. Wow, you are very
Yeah.
proficient in perception.
Hey, I
Sesh.
have a 19 wisdom and I'm proficient in the skill.
Yeah, my goodness, crumbs.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So yeah, you see the shit out of this.
That phrase.
Around like yeah, you're off to the side and like the back, like you're not like in the middle of the open deck. Kind of if the sun was still like in the noon, you'd have been in like shade, working on your stuff. Same with you, Isaac, and you're just kind of both there. But you do see the individual that you'd seen a couple of times, though just passingly. But the individual that you initially talked to, who was advising and guiding the work crew while they were at dock, this individual with the symbol of Imlator on his chest armor kind of comes up from below deck and goes to the front of the ship, and he's far enough away because the ship's large enough that you're not able to hear anything, and he's definitely there to be alone in front of the ship. But you see him like lay out a mat, like it's like a rolled up kind of thin rug or mat, kind of down, and you see him get down onto his knees, and he starts like you can see his mouth muttering and praying. And after about 10-15 minutes of that, you start seeing like a bluish hue on all
That's
of
you.
the
Thank you.
chains that are affixed to his limbs, or all of the shackles that are affixed to his limbs, and you can start seeing like these weird ethereal blue chains connecting all of them.
What time of day
as
did you say this was?
It's getting towards night. Like it's the sun's maybe about 20 minutes before it.
So it's about to be last light. So when I'd start praying as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I'm
that's
gonna.
one of the other reasons why you'd probably be up there.
Yeah,
He
I'm
is
gonna
up in the
go-
front by himself, and he's just like muttering.
Is there room to go next to him, or is it not really?
Yeah, you could probably squeeze in next to him. He's not a big. He's a tall person. He's not a big person. So
I'm a tall person as well. If there isn't, I'll sit just slightly behind him and start my own prayers.
Yeah. Give me another perception check. Now you're closer. To him.
That's another
Hey.
17.
Wow,
Nice.
consistent.
For a change.
While you're going about your your prayers, you catch like bits and pieces of what he's saying, and it's very low, and some of it's not in common. But you're catching glimpses of like, or bits of like asking for forgiveness, and like bits of what seem like an oath, like he's offering up his soul for that, and it's just like a lot of seems to be like reiterating the oath and that he might have taken. And you're getting the feeling, as long as that he also seems to be a redemptor of some sort, and yes, and as he goes along further and further, the chains that were initially like ethereal, ghostly, that were connecting his shackles between his arms, and the shackles on his neck, and the shackle of his neck connecting that, and you'll see ones on his ankles, all begin to become more solid until, after about a half hour of praying, it ceases to be. Like the light flicks out, and then the shackles are no longer connected. Takes a breath. Gets up and rolls up the mat. And
What is it you did that required you to become a redemptor?
yeah, Mr. Tall Man, he's only met twice.
Yeah, Mr. Tall Man with the big old symbol of Palor on your chest, you son bitch.
Who's
And
only
your
met twice.
non-pupilled eyes.
Who's only met twice, essentially going up to an inmate inside of death row, just going like, "So, what'd you do?" Just like,
He hasn't
I
actually spoken
killed
to
a
me
man.
once. I wasn't there the first time.
He spoke to me.
oh, that's right. Yeah, so he's never met you once. He
No,
just came on.
this is how I'm striking up my conversation with him.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to start a conversation.
Not, hey, how you doing? Ah, interesting
Yeah.
change. Are you a redemptor? What did you do? No, nothing like that. No, just so what did you do to be here? Scum.
Scum. Criminal
As he
scum.
finishes- As he finishes rolling up the rug, or the mat that he was kneeling on. A lot of. And he just kind of walks back away from you. And then back down into
I commend your path to change. As he walks away, I say that.
and you are left alone. Well, not alone. Sesh is still there.
I gave the fellow a reassuring smile, as if to say, you know, I know Isaac's a bit of a curious fella, because
But yeah.
I go to Sesh. Do you not think it curious that we have a redemptor on board when we're visiting the tomb of a Redemptor, or a known Redemptor?
She kind of shrugs. I
By
don't
the way,
know
Sesh,
what that means.
you've never heard of a Redemptor before
Yes.
today.
She literally just says, I have no idea what, the context. I have no idea what any of that context is about because, unlike you, I came from the Grey Wastes.
Okay, I will explain.
6 hours later.
No, I'll give you a brief. Redemptors are people who have been sworn to take an oath in order to change their lives after committing a lot of wrongs, in order to cleanse their soul by...
Like the captain mentioned when talking about the Hell on the Pious.
Exactly the same. It's the same religious group as well.
Mm.
That's why I was straightforward with him. I was thinking that maybe, as part of his path to redemption, he'd be a bit more open, shall we say. But he was guarded, and it does add to my
Maybe
suspicion.
some people just, maybe he just didn't think, people want to find their own redemption in their own ways. Maybe he thinks this is one of his, ways to find his. I don't know. I don't understand what he did or what.
That's why I tried to find out. I thought he would be a bit more forward with it. I don't know, it's too coincidental.
No such thing as coincidence.
And with that, Isaac goes inside to, I'm guessing, the sleeping area.
You've actually all been invited to join the captain for evening meal
Oh, then that, I will go to that.
as a group. You're muted, Chris.
Sounds like a good idea.
Wow. So you're all invited, and there's a small captain's galley below deck, and in there you are greeted by Sedna, who is wearing the same thing you saw her wear before. It's a lot of grays, blacks, and browns that she's wearing, and she's sitting at the head of the table, and there seems to be a bit of a spread of kind of basic food around for everyone, and then there's enough room and seating for the party, as well as her first mate, who is sitting to her left.
Have I finished my drawing by this stage?
Of
the first mate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you would have finished it. At some point.
Okay. She will first of all say, "Thank you for the invitation to dinner tonight, Captain. It looks lovely."
What kind of host would I be if I did not invite my to a evening?
Well, still, it's a. And she will sit down and hand the first mate the piece of stone with his drawing on it.
You just put it in front of him and just like.
Yeah, just hand it to him. Just casually hand it to him, just like it's not anything different to her.
It's like the little girl giving the flower to Frankenstein's monster.
I mean, we're about the same size, so it'd be like Frankenstein's wife handing Frankenstein the flower.
True. Takes it. Puts it down. You're getting the feeling he doesn't like you people.
Yeah. He just kind of shrugs.
You actually haven't heard him talk.
Could I make an insight check to see if, how deep-rooted this hatred might be? Or dislike, or disdain, whatever kind of D word you want there.
Sure, go ahead.
How much D are we talking here?
A whole lot of D. I mean, he's a half-orc, so. But
he seems to really not just like you people Like you 5, he does not like you. That's
Because
what
we're
you
not
get.
sailors, I'm guessing.
or something.
You
Keep that to
haven't heard
myself
him
for now.
speak. You haven't heard him speak since you arrived. Like that little scoff and was the first indications of a voice that
Does-
you've heard from
That
him.
he's not mute. He's
Does-
actually can speak.
Does anybody
You
speak
actually-
Orcish?
I don't.
I believe I do.
Wow.
Do you?
Yep.
How stereotypically elvish. If you-
The elf speaks Orcish.
Bite me.
Is
Maybe.
it-
Only if you are into that.
Given the fact I speak Orcish and no one else does, I'm not going to help now.
R1's face goes red when
Okay.
the Dragonborn mentions kinky biting.
I was out of character. Okay.
Okay.
I do try to put the voice on when I can.
Yeah,
I
same.
didn't I also invited you here for a bit of a selfish reason. I thought it would be best to share our upcoming journey in more detail. Away from some of the rest of the crew. They're not particularly happy with my decision to include you on this.
Would your first mate be one of those?
Bonla is loyal.
I've no doubt.
He does not trust easily.
That's understandable.
Isn't that right? Yes, Captain. That's the first time you've heard him see anything. This is the first time you've heard him talk at all. It's a very low and soft, actually. Somewhat odd for essentially this slab of muscle that you've seen.
You took an orc-shaped wall, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Either way, I wanted to make sure that you were well versed in what we're going to be doing and some of the things that we may encounter. I've spent quite a few months preparing for this mission to make sure I was not surprised by anything we find. And that includes finding this. And she kind of reaches around behind the chair that she's sitting on and brings out, and there's this parchment roll that she rolls out onto the table in an empty spot on the spread, and it seems to be an illustrated map that has been drawn. And it's hold on.
Since Isaac is a cartographer, right? You have proficiency in cartographer's tools?
Yes.
Would you know how good that map actually is? Like how well
When I
drawn
finally
it
get a
is?
look at it, yeah.
There should be a map now.
It's
available.
loading.
It's loading.
It's loading. Okay.
Is loading.
He said, "Oh, dude."
It's loading.
Is loading, Mario.
Are you gloating, rival, that you can speak another language that we can't?
I was making sure it actually worked.
Oh.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, because you have to spell it properly, right? That's how it works in
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah, I made sure that happens. I went through all the sheets to make sure that it worked, because they are very specific on the spelling. I wish you could make your own though, because Utari has.
Utesian.
Yeah, Utari has Uteshian, and I would love it. I would love to have
To
Uteshian,
program in
like-
your own
Yeah.
words.
You just put in Mongolian script somehow.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Even
other
just the
thing I'd love is
alphabet,
I'd
just-
have there's a calendar function in this system, but it's not customizable. So I wish I could import my calendar, so that we could actually have an internal
be
calendar.
cool.
But that doesn't work. The map
Hey,
it
it's
should be
stuff to
there.
look forward
Oh, it's coming. Here we go.
Oh, there
Stuff
we
to
go.
look forward for the dev team in the future. Yep, there you go.
Yep.
It's a pretty interesting looking island.
What is it
The
called? The
Jade Isle?
Jade. Why is it called the Jade Isle?
Do you actually ask that?
Yes.
It's green as jade, covered in forests.
I'm from an island like that.
It's not jungly because it's in the Bay of Gold, so it's actually very temperate. But it's very deep green. It's known for its very deep green forests and like everything is very green and overgrown. And even the bay that the one settlement that used to be on here had like a green tint. So it just became known as the Jade Isles. There was the Jade Forest that covered the whole thing. But on this map, you see some notarized directions that are kind of scrawled on here by like a red ink that kind of gives you a general direction and knowledge. We should be able to anchor off of the old settlement and move through there. We have a somewhat easy path to go along a footpath to a lone willow, and from there we should be able to continue to the foothills on the interior. And I've been told that there is a rock formation called the Tiger's Fang. Inside of those fangs is Pelon's tomb.
No, it's a good thing we have people here who are very good at tracking and foraging.
Shouldn't have much trouble getting there physically. Problem is the rumor. On the island, when the company scoured it of all civilization after the purge of the pirates, they say that a Morden priest was paid off to curse the land and sour it. But one person still lived on the island when that occurred. And they say he still lives there today.
25 years later.
Indeed.
This is getting more and more interesting.
It's not too unusual.
No, but the rumors state he's not truly a man anymore.
He's a man bear pig.
I'm being super ethereal, guys.
Okay. Where
Whether or
would...
not he's real or not is another question. Say he's gray and sunken with unhuman-like eyes, and that he'll eat any flesh it comes across. Superstitions by the fishermen, I assume.
Could I make a religion check to see if that sounds like a ghoul?
Sure, go ahead.
Map is in the way, no. PCs, here we go. Somewhere now, maybe. I actually can't see because the map is entirely in the way. Let me see if I can't drag it out. There we go. Now,
I mean, you could just press the arrows in the top right-hand corner to expand it to
Do-
the
I ask, do we know how accurate these map measurements are?
I'd assume not too accurate. We'll have to use some creativity in finding the exact location. It could be a ghoul. It's very broad. It's very broad. Broad is because a ghoul is usually undead of some sort. Like it's usually necromantic magic has been imbued, very specific type. But there's no mention of it being undead.
The rumors sound somewhat similar to a ghoul. They tend to eat any flesh they can get their hands on. They tend to have sunken features, but it's not quite accurate. But then again, it's only rumors, so...
I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later, though I doubt it's real.
Always
People
prepare for
have
the
been
worst.
avoiding this island for decades now after what happened. I'm sure it's just superstition at this point. But I thought you should be prepared, just in case.
We have silver weapons. We are prepared.
Will it just be us going ashore?
I will be accompanying you along with Bola, or Bonla here. We also have a small contingent of the crew, 1 or 2, just to help carry some of the items we'll possibly require for our journey.
Ah, red shirts.
They actually
We're
wear red.
hoping we're hoping to find some sort of clues in the old settlement to the actual location, as this tomb would have had to been made after the scouring of the island, so they would have had to stay somewhere during the building of it.
What happened to the Pius's ship after he died?
Pius didn't sail the ship for the later part of his life. Pilon was obsessed with balancing his soul, they say, in the end. It's odd. The Redemptors League, the individuals who govern the Redemptors as a whole, judged him worthy of balance years before his death, but he refused it in the end and continued to strive for balance.
The Redemptor you have on board, will he be coming with us?
Trendle? I believe so.
How long's he been with you?
Almost a year now. We picked him up at Zeral. He had been drifting for a while. Bit of a stick in the mud, but loyal.
Interesting fellow, him.
Indeed. Most Redemptors are.
Never met one before.
Interesting stories, if they'll tell you them. Little smirk.
He's not the first Redemptor I've dealt with.
Alright. Is there anything else you'd like to ask during this meal? Specific? No?
Nothing I can
Okay.
think of.
No.
No, I'm going to keep my ability to translate orc quiet.
Okay. But I think that's actually going to be the end of this session, isn't it? Because
We
we're
got-
at
25 minutes.
We got 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
About
finished on the
25,
hour.
30 minutes.
You do
Yeah,
this
we-
every
Damn
week.
it, I keep
You,
listening.
you do this
Yeah.
every week. Start on the
God
half,
damn it,
end on
Rose.
the hour. Yeah.
Well, I keep thinking 3 hours, not 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you finish off your meal and you go to bed. You have 3 cabins that you're sharing between you 5. So however you want to split that, you can split that. I'm assuming Sesh has her own cabin.
Mhm.
And the other 2
Thank
are
you.
split between
I'll
2
bunk with Rival.
She will.
So, yeah.
She will actually thank the party for giving her privacy.
All right. Yeah. So you get through the day and start anew with a brand new day, and just like the last one, you were it's been a while since you've been out on the sea for most of you, just kind of ocean, and it's the Bay of Gold, so it's actually somewhat calm. And there's not a lot of there's some wind enough to get you going. There's like a general trade wind that you're going through with, but it is it's steady. There's not a lot of waves. Pretty, just general calm.
Pretty chill.
It's one of the reasons why the Bay of Gold is so heavily trafficked, because it is an easy ocean-going route between here and Iron Bay to the south. But you are informed by Captain Sedna that some point this afternoon you should be arriving on the Jade Isles. They're not too far off the coast. They're just a little short jaunt, but it'll take a while to find the tomb, she believes. So is there anything you'd like to all do during your, first half of the afternoon before you arrive at the island?
I will produce another piece of stone, about the same size, and I will start sketching Sedna this time.
Sedna. Okay, you do so.
I'm going to take the time to attune to my magic item.
Okay. You could have done that yesterday as well.
I did the carving yesterday, and I focused on it, so...
Okay, so you go ahead and begin your thing. It's not the best. It's not the best session. Not the best.
She will toss it overboard and start again.
Goes off into the water.
Yeah.
What about you, R1?
Probably try and work on writing some songs.
Okay, so you're just on the deck this time,
Yeah.
like working in the light. Okay, you do so. And how about you, Rivalon?
He's doing a whole lot of drugs.
No, I'm not. You
He's
can't
being
tell me I'm
seasick.
doing a lot of drugs, you two-headed snake.
He's being seasick.
No, I'm just chilling.
Just chilling? Alright, just chilling watching people work because you don't have anything to do?
Yeah, maybe kind of sit down, kind of meditate a little bit.
I'm also going to take some time to try and get to know some of the crew.
Okay, you do...
I'll basically
okay.
be sitting off to one side, kind of listening into the general conversation, seeing if I can pick anything up, that kind of thing.
Alright,
Especially
it's
if
not
our
too
friend
hard.
actually says anything, due to the fact it might actually be useful to us.
Okay, give me a perception check, Rivalon.
I can do that.
Are you sure?
He's very perceptive. Normally.
Normally, it's moving.
Roll the 5 plus 4.
And
so
I'm
9.
also kind of still getting used to my super duper spidey senses.
Yeah. Which, although do make you more aware of things, doesn't make you hear any better. Specifically.
It's not a hearing aid.
It's overloading my senses at the moment.
It's not a hearing aid, essentially.
Barry on board as well, don't forget.
Yeah. Isaac, during your time, you try and get to know some of the crew, but you notice they're very standoffish towards you. Not as much as Bonla, the first mate, but they don't seem to like the fact that this party has been hired. You get the feeling that maybe they don't like the fact that the captain didn't trust them enough to do this job, and that she needed to go outside to hire like some new blood for this. So you don't get a lot of conversations, like kind of like a little bit. Oh, hi, how are you? I gotta get to work. You know, just immediately like goes off to side. Not a
Okay.
lot of-
So I didn't catch any names.
Not really. So far, like the general, like you got a couple. Like there's a Wallace who's one of the cooks down below, and you just mostly you catch that because you heard like two of the tabaxi complaining about how Wallace overspices the meat for dinner all the time, or you know just to cover up. They claim it's to cover up bad meat. So he puts too much salt on it because it's gray meat. It's not good anymore, like that kind of stuff. So you get Wallace. There's a couple of tabaxi that are just talking. There's a human that seems to be in charge of like a good number of the crew, like he may be third in command or something like that, and he's just kind of going by. You do again see the Redemptor. He seems to be of a position of authority in some way. In a lot of ways, he like under his breath. He doesn't. That's the thing. It's unlike what you stereotypically know about ships. It's very quiet. Like there's not a lot of rambunctiousness or like loudness and everything like that. Just everybody's like low talking. There's just like very kind of.
Do I deduct that might be because we're on board?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you do. I'm gonna say you do. I'm gonna say you don't need to make a roll for that. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Isaac may not have the best social graces, but that one's pretty easy to spot. Pretty low, but you do see, and who you now know, his name is Trindle, who is the Redemptor. He gives an order.
I want to go apologize to Trindle.
Okay.
This is where he just throws you off the boat. Just yeet.
I'm gonna go over to him and say, Trindle.
I just want to point out because I don't know if I explained it right. I just want to point out, essentially the Redemptor thing, the oath, is for like somebody who has been given a sentence that is really bad, and they decide to, instead of taking on that sentence, take an oath of redemption.
Yeah, it's like
so that's equivalent.
It's like being
to, like,
sent to Australia.
Not so much. Like this is the equivalent of like for this it's
penal
like,
units.
Like this man killed 7 people. You can either
he's going to die
or become a Redemptor. Like
there's only 2 options here. You can either die
Hence-
or you can attempt to atone for the rest of your known life.
Yeah,
That's
hence
kind of
why
like
Isaac is naturally a little bit.
Repentive for being a dick.
There's no like somebody like the Redemptors. There's no somebody like, oh, I evaded taxes. It's
No.
I mean, that depends on where you. I guess if you're an American and you evade that,
Yeah,
I guess
I
so,
know.
but yeah, okay.
the
So I just
IRS
wanted to
send the
point that out.
FBI in to kick your door down.
So how do you go about apologizing to Trindle?
I am just going to say. I'm going to go up to him. Be quite forward.
Okay, he's in the middle of like talking to one of the to a.
I'm going to wait for him to finish his order.
It's like a half elf that he's talking with, and you can hear just on under like low under the breath. Yeah, just make sure you move the new gear to the forward hold. You get to chat later tonight before you bunk up, and it's just like kind of like a small thing. He's just reminding them. It's like you get the sense he's just reminding him to do something that he forgot to do last time. Kind of. But when he gets done and he turns on, he sees you. And may I help you?
Trindle, I just wanted to apologize for being intrusive yesterday evening.
And you're not being deceptive or deceitful or anything about that. You're being very
That's
forward
just
and,
that's just plain honesty.
Okay. All right. Well. Thank you for kind of working his job for that.
In my faith, they look on what you're doing as a good thing, and I respect you for what you're doing.
I don't know if Roach is searching to try and find what he'd say, or if the character
I'm
is
trying to
just
figure out what he'd say. This is not something he usually
Deals with, yeah, no. I'm just
deals with.
this goddamn Inquisitor of Paylor is fucking bullshit.
Alright. Yeah. Not sure what to say.
You don't need to say anything. I just wanted you to know that I respect your path of atonement. And with that, I'm gonna walk away.
It was a very nice picture, Mike.
Isaac,
I have no idea what it is.
Take a look at all the text on my screen.
Just
Oh,
trying
fuck.
to just
'Cause
trying to
I'm
psych
having
out the criminal.
graphics issues.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was wondering.
I'm having a lot of
me
graphical
looking
card
outside going.
I'm having a lot of graphical card issues at the moment, so like all of my
He is,
text and
all of his text on his Discord is like in some kind of foreign or alien language.
Oh wow, that's
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe it's Utechian. Okay. Is there anything else any of you would like to do during your time, or just kind of, or actually, you've already said what you'd like to do during that time. So, okay, you finish that off, and it does get to midday, it's noon, and you see on the horizon land. It's fairly yes, rival.
he was doing the stereotypical salute or sailor thing, covering his eyes.
No,
Looking up
I
at
see
it,
land.
ho!
Land ho!
Do you know that Christopher Columbus promised a reward for the first man to spot land, and then completely screwed the guy out of his reward, claiming he was the first one to spot land?
Of course he did.
Yeah, well, of course he did. It's Christopher Columbus. He's a horrible person.
He's an absolute piece of shit.
He was an
Genocidal
evil
madman.
SOB.
Don't know what you mean, smallpox blanket.
Not even that. Not even that. He killed the whole like almost the majority of the population of Hispania, like in like I don't even know how short amount of time.
2 years, I think it was. It was like
Yeah. It was, fuck. Either way, yeah, you see land, and oddly enough, like unlike the name, the Bay of Gold is very blue. Like it is.
You surprise me.
Yeah. No, it's like
Very Mediterranean kind of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you ever seen the Mediterranean like color of water compared to like the Atlantic?
yes.
No, the Atlantic is brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what we
This
see
is-
of it
this is-
anyway.
This is very
Yeah.
This is very like clear blue, like Mediterranean water that the Bay of Gold is.
I could love the Mediterranean.
Yeah, so that's what you've been sailing on, and very contrast, like a huge contrast off in the distance. You see this very big island that is just almost upsettingly green. Like it is there's like no other color there. Like you ever seen some of those Pacific islands that are just like covered in like thick moss or like thick vegetation? It's almost, you can't see like dirt. There's no other color. It's just green. You just see that it's like overrun with like vegetation off in the distance, and you start seeing like the crew starts like getting a little bit more lively. You start hearing more talking. It's very actually kind of jarring just like hearing some people talk like at a normal volume instead of like hushed tones. It's like it's a lot of sailor talk, just getting things together, shoring up sails, making sure the boats for the trip between the ship and the land itself are ready, and yeah, it takes you about another half hour before you are close enough that the captain, Bonla, Trindle, and a crew member board one of the boats, and there is another boat on the opposite side of the ship that Sedna says you should use this boat. We'll go in together. We'll go first and follow us in.
No way we're getting horses on those.
No.
We are going on foot, gents.
Once
And lady.
And lady.
Nice.
Once we know the, it's been so long since ships have sailed in this bay. If we can figure out if the Strumpet's Cry can actually get closer, we could maybe dock and offload the horses, but it'll take some time.
No worries. Okay.
I'd rather set up a perimeter in the old settlement first. Make sure
Makes sense.
everything is good.
I'm assuming Justini and I will be rowing the rowboat.
Like the two strongest ones start like a motorboat, just speeds.
Meow.
So yeah, you were lowered into the ocean and you were following the other individuals in, and it's eerie. Like, unlike most islands that you would expect this kind of look to be, this isn't jungle. This is temperate forest, but this is overgrown temperate forest. You even see like willows with like long, like with their their foliage hanging down for like one of them. You see like that's kind of hanging off one of the cliff edges. This like willow tree that's really big, and it's got like maybe like 70-foot long foliage straight. Like it's been here for centuries at this point, but it's like nobody's touched this place for decades. And
Fuck, when did that happen?
everybody make a perception check.
Hmm.
22.
9.
The funny thing is, R1, you still rolled a 2 and you got a 9 out of it. That is amazing.
Yeah, R1 and I have the exact same bonus, and I rolled, but it hasn't come up yet for some reason.
9. It's the total opposite to R1. I rolled a 7 and got a +2.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Mine has
Try
not come
roll-
up yet, so yeah.
Try
I'll
rolling
roll
it again. It said you had to reconnect, so I'm
Yeah,
assuming
there we
it
go.
didn't go through.
I rolled like way better the first time. Sad.
Yeah, well. Well, everybody's exceeded the check actually, because it wasn't a high DC. It sounds. The thing is, it's so eerie because there's no sound. There's no animals. There's no birds or anything that you're hearing. Like in a forest this thick, you would think there'd be something in there making a noise.
Like a
It's at
fox
least-
or something.
Or cicadas or something making some noise, but it is eerie quiet. All you hear is the little like lapping of water against the little boats that you're in, and the oars going through. That's all you're hearing as you go through here, and you're within like 20 feet of the shore, or like that's above you as you go through. But you come across, you kind of just wiggle through this like narrow gap, and you see on this side of the hill maybe 30 buildings arrayed along an old rotted out dock that's half in the water, and the half that isn't in the water is blackened, charred, like it's been burned. And most of the buildings you can see look like they've been burned as well a long time ago, and the forest has come to reclaim it in most places. But again, there's just nothing here. It's almost like the whole island is dead, but for the tree.
That priest sure did his job.
You keep going until you get to the edge of the shore, and Sedna, Bonla, and Trindle, along with the other crewmen, have get up on the shore first, and they've like pulled their boat up, and they're on the shoreline looking across while you do the same, and you're all on the shoreline now, and like it's not sand. It's like coarse rock, like a Pacific Northwest kind of shore. Like it's not sandy. It's more very coarse.
Rock.
Pebble, like a pebble, like beach kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's what you're standing on now, and you're just at the base of kind of a rise up and it's just this old settlement right in front of you. An old church burned, and its like tower has fallen over and crushed another building next to it. Whether or not that was recent or that happened when it initially got burned down, you're not sure. But just this empty town that's just sitting there.
I draw my warhammer.
Sedna steps forward. She's got her hand on one of her short swords. We should strike out and make a perimeter. Search the building. See if there's anything we can find of recent activity.
Very well.
We'll set out.
Tell
you
my
sh-
friends to stay within 30 feet of me.
I will do so.
You five go and check that section of buildings, and you can see there's like a section of buildings that's a little bit taller on a hill past the church, like maybe a collection of 10 or something like that. And that's kind of separated from the rest of the town, what used to be a town. She points to that way. You check out that area. We'll check down here. Make sure nothing.
We'll scream if we need you.
I'm sure we'll hear it. Kind of looks around. A bit skeeved out by the quiet. And again, it's just quiet. There's nothing making noise out here except for you.
Just the crunch of boot on stone or
Yeah.
ground.
You ever like after a snowstorm,
Yeah.
and after that, you know that quietness after a fresh snow. Think that, but just middle of spring.
I mean, if you live in Canada, you might actually get that right now.
No, because they'd still have bird song and stuff. There's not that around.
Yeah, there's none of that. You're not hearing any bugs, any animals, any birds.
All right. I guess we'll go check out this area.
You move along a path, and it takes you through kind of not the bulk of the town. You're taking along a path that kind of winds up this little rise. But you're passing by these old stone structures. They're obviously not all built by the same people. As you're passing by, you've got one that's like a dwarvish make, and it's still fairly actually together because it was mostly made of stone, but like the roof's gone, and like the wood furnishings and stuff are burnt. Then you got one that looked to be like human made, with like, and then you got one that has an elvish kind of flair to it. Just kind of like it's a big collection of just a whole bunch of peoples together, that made this town. As you're passing by, make another perception check. Whoever wants to, but be on the lookout, I guess.
Everyone's gonna be on the lookout with this eeriness.
I'm a better investigator than I have perception, so I will.
Yeah, like as someone who used to be in a town guard, having my head on a swivel is sort of second nature, I'd imagine.
So what? 15, 13, 15?
Yeah, did you do anything, Isaac?
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
Mikey got a 16.
No, he got a.
You got 13.
You got 13.
That 60 was from his last
previous one then. Oh,
That was
okay.
the last one he did, yeah. Okay. Rivalon and Arwan. As you're passing by, you see like what looks to be an old market stall that's been burnt down and kind of and rotted. But you see a sun bleached skeleton, just kind of like it looks like it's just like sitting against a wall. Like you can't tell from here, but like human maybe or somewhere around there.
So it just sat down and leant against the wall and died.
Maybe. It just looks like it's sitting there. It just looks like it died in a sitting position against a wall, and it's just kind of there. And it's weird as
There's
well because
nothing else around it.
the head is still resting on the wall, just like slightly, so it hasn't like fallen down. It's just kind of there. there's not a lot next to it. Like there's like a buildup of some like sediment on like the lower like extremities. It's like it's been there for a while, but the top bit of this is there's nothing on the bones. It's just it's white sun bleached bone. Which make an intelligence check, both of you.
Oh, I'm not intelligent. 16.
12.
Okay, well, both of you actually passed that. It wasn't a big check. Having something like this occur in like 2 decades, which would be around the time that this was to have occurred, and the way that this is arrayed, that would require some sort of scavenger to have eaten most of the
Oh, goody.
thing. The problem is that you've heard nothing that could be a scavenger on this island.
Which leaves us to think that
There's no birds.
maybe there's something
No crows, no
that's
anything
killed
that might do that. So
the scavengers.
Or there is something
Yeah.
bigger
Or the
and
rumors are
quieter
true.
that is a scavenger.
But you
It's
see
a
that
predator.
as you pass by. Yeah, you see that as you pass by, and that clicks pretty instantly for you. It's just like, oh, that's weird. Wait a second. As you keep going, and now you're a little bit more skeeved out as you go by, and as you're going as you keep walking, here and there, just like not like huge like piles or anything like that, just scattered here and there, like a body that looks to have been like is face down on a path, like on an alley, like a side path, just down, and like again sun bleached skeleton, just void of everything but the bone. And
Right.
you see maybe about 4 or 5 more as you're going up to the path that you were originally as you go by. All of them the same, and all in weird, like odd kind of situations as well. Because usually when like a scavenger like starts picking apart at a body or something like that, it disturbs the body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And kind of like it'll move a little bit, or like an arm will be disconnected from the rest of the body, but all of these are still together, like it's just gone, or like they were painstakingly stripped to not be moved or something. It's
Can I
really,
investigate one of these
really-
skeletons?
Sure. Near where the rise is, you find one that's just off to the side who seems to be like it looks to have been like fallen over a fence at some point. You can see the remnants of what the fence used to be that's rotted down, and so the skeleton's kind of settled onto the ground. But you see one, and it's not too far off the path.
As what I want to check is, do they look like this is where they died, or have they since been moved?
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, for fuck! It's a 7.
It's a 7. It's hard to tell. Usually, that kind of information, it would be much more fresh. This is like 20 years of build up. So, like, usually you can tell within like a day or two, because there'd be like signs of blood spatter or like disturbances in the natural ground. But this is like settled over 2 decades. Though oddly enough, when you get close to the bones, it's like crisscross patterns all across the bones, like little cuts just all along the bone.
Do they look like they've been made by a tool?
That would probably require an intelligence check. Try it.
Okay, I will try an intelligence check. Why not? It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Rip
You
the
can't
homie.
tell. Could be teeth. Could be tools.
That I
very-
use a medicine check in substitute for that intelligence.
Sure, I'll allow it.
Yeah, I openly
Alright.
say that what I'm thinking. Do those marks look like tool implements or teeth?
It hasn't rolled yet. Give me a second here. There we go. Maybe.
Nope.
It'll get there eventually. Come on.
If we find some sort of Wendigo, I'm
Sometime this
gonna
week would be nice.
Go.
I don't know what's going on here. It's not working.
There it
There we
goes.
go.
Oh,
24.
Now. Nice.
24. Okay, and you're trying to see what did this?
Yeah. Is this the cause of death? And obviously it's probably the cause of death. But what is it?
You can't tell if this was the cause of death because there's no.
There's
you
so
can't
many
really
as well.
Normally tell. It's like you disturb the body. Like you decide you pick up like the femur, and you hold it up and kind of like compare it in the light, and you just see thousands of small scratches and nicks along this bone.
Like maybe
And
something picked it like that.
possibly, but this is very regular, almost like a tool did this.
The pattern that these nicks make me believe it's a tool, like somebody intentionally did
Yep.
this.
Which means somebody harvested the meat off these corpses. Which is what I feared.
Or something.
Something that was once somebody. I fear the rumors might be
Yes.
true.
We should tell the captain.
I need you all to make a perception check.
I need you all to roll. I need you all to roll.
Initiative.
Initiative, please.
21.
14.
Someone just
I
got a
haven't
natural
seen my-
20! Natty 20!
Turnip yet. Come on.
Natty 20!
All right.
I got it.
I'll
Wait,
take
I
the,
rolled
I'll
20.
take the first one of that. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
9.
I'll take the first one of that. So, Rivalon and Isaac both succeeded the DC for this because it was a very high DC. And I'm gonna put this down on this just so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Just in terms of the,
You loading us a battle map?
Oh no. I'm putting it down on the Jade Isles map just so you can see what this looks like. So Isaac and Rivalon. Rivalon, you kind of get a sense like it's far off, so it's not like you're from your bow. It's not close enough for you to like get an immediate thing, but it's like kind of like just edging like on the right at the edge of your awareness. Isaac, you see something off the corner of your eye, and about 90 feet, right on the edge of the forest on the path that you're walking up, you see a humanoid figure standing in this like damp, shadowy stretch of forest. It stands at about 5 feet tall. Its limbs are a bit too long for its body, and its face is like hauntingly hollow. And you see it like you can just make it out because you rolled so well. Like it's like this is all happening within a couple of seconds, and you're just like not moving. You're both like looking out, and you can see it like turn its head slightly, and you can hear. And you see this, this is kind of what you see. It's on the Jade Isle map.
Oh god.
Oh,
great.
Jesus.
I know. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
You see that, and then
With the whole no
Right.
nose thing.
oh yeah, that's the. Can somebody please stop twitching it, please? Thank you. If you you can see it's not that it doesn't have a nose; it's that the nose is missing.
The cartilage part
red,
of the nose is gone.
And it's like cut, and there's like cuts all along the scalp and bits along its arms and legs. It's like it's barely wearing clothes, but again, this is all you're getting. This in a couple of seconds that you have, but then when after it makes that noise and it's kind of like its head is tilted slightly, like kind of like a dog or like an animal who doesn't understand what it's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to realize that you're watching it, and the grossest thing you've ever seen this humanoid figure that seems to have normal legs, as especially because it's like half like, you know, golem-y kind of dated down. It puts its weight forward and its legs bend the wrong way on its knees, and it starts skittering back into the ground. So it just goes into the ground, like into the forest, just out of sight. Way too quick.
We need to find the captain now.
I'll take the femur with me. the
And
piece
we're
of
gonna
bone
end
I
it there.
We're going to end it there.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what is that?
Ooh.
So, I guess join us next week where we'll have our barbarian back and actually have to fight Wendigo fucking Voldemort
That's
here.
what it was.
Wendigo
Wendigo. That's what I was thinking too.
Wendigo Voldemort here that apparently walks like one of the things from the forest. So yeah, hope you've all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like or follow or whatever you're watching. There's various versions of the stream happening right now. If you're listening to the podcast, hey, if you're not listening to podcast version, why not? It's available on Spotify, Google Play, any of those, iTunes, all of the places you find podcasts. And yeah, we'll be back next week with less shopping, more frightened of this giant Wendigo thing. Thank you tall, as well to but still,
we're terrified.
It's agile. I mean, yeah, it's a whole 2 feet smaller than your character, though. I still think you'd be worried about it. As always, thank you to Commissar Roach for creating this campaign, and thank you to you guys for coming along to watch it. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, Roach, for scaring the shit out of us.